Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we watch Monday Night RAW together. And RAW is on, and we can see Charlotte Flair, who's out right now. She's in the ring, and she's not very happy. She doesn't seem happy with the kind of reception that she's received tonight. And I agree with her. Charlotte Flair has carried Monday Night RAW on her back all these days, all these weeks, all these months, all these years. She's been a fabulous Raw Women's Champion. She's been the Roman Reigns of Raw, if I can say that. She's done such an incredible job, and now that tonight is her last night on Monday Night Raw, nobody is there to acknowledge her. Nobody is there to thank her. The fans are booing her. There are no balloons, there's no confetti, there are no champagnes. And hello, Mark, how you doing? And Charlotte Flair is not very, very happy about it. She's disappointed. And I agree. This is not a way you send off a queen, right? This is not a way you send off a queen. So I believe that all of her complaints are pretty fair. Yep. Just like we can hear her say, she says that she wanted a more decorated farewell. And she's the queen, the most celebrated woman in sports entertainment history. I agree. Hello, William. How you doing?
Because Bianca, you can't beat this opportunity. Not this time, not next time, not any time. And tonight, you are going to learn how far you still have to go, sweetheart.
Fair and square. Okay.
Because you have beaten Bailey. You have beaten Sasha. But Becky couldn't beat you on her own because I am the mountain that you can't climb. And you can save your EST nonsense for someone
Alright,
who isn't
so
the greatest to ever
we're
do
hearing
this.
the queen rant on Bianca Belair and basically telling her that they're not even close. And I agree. I mean, Bianca Belair is still new. Bianca Belair is still just the EST. She's nowhere near the queen. So I agree. I agree with everything that Charlotte Flair is saying right now. Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair are no match. No match whatsoever. Hello, KJ. It's Monday, and it's time for Monday Night Raw. You're right. She's very, very good. Oh, good to see everybody tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. All right, and look at Bianca. I mean, look at the Queen Charlotte Flair standing in the ring, looking up like a true royalty, and look at Bianca Belair just on the stage, whipping her hair for no reason, smiling for no reason. Her dress just looks just weird. And look at Charlotte Flair's dress and look at Bianca Belair's dress. They're two polar opposites. So nowhere near the queen, nowhere near in terms of talent, in terms of fashion sense. She just doesn't belong in the same league, if you know what I mean. Oh, no.
Because the way that I see it, I've done nothing but prove that I belong here. I show up, I show out, so I deserve this rematch tonight.
Yeah, I'm less than impressed by Bianca Belair, just like Charlotte Flair is, and I don't understand why does she deserve a match. But she can go on and tell us all about it. Okay? And by the way, guys, I'm very, very excited because tomorrow, NXT 2.0, it's a fresh new show, and tomorrow we're debuting our fresh new concept, which is watch along wrestling, along with watch along of your favorite PS5 game. If you own a PS5, that's Spider-Man Remastered. So we're trying something new. We thought we tried on Fifth Raw, but I thought it's only fitting if you try it with a revamped show that's NXT. A revamped watch along. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. But tomorrow is exciting. I'm excited for tomorrow. Let's see how it goes.
You're literally out here begging for your farewell. So take as much time as you need to say goodbye to that Raw Women's Championship, because I'm gonna give you a little advice. After you take this,
it's funny.
Party, dust yourself off. Keep your head up high. Because we all know life will bring you trials, tribulations, and disappointments. But Charlotte, use that.
It's funny that Bianca Belair just made her debut yesterday. When you compare her to Charlotte Flair, Charlotte Flair has been here forever, right? She's been here for a long time. She's seen enough. She's done enough. She's experienced, far more experienced than Bianca Belair is. But we have Bianca Belair standing in the middle of the ring with the Queen, giving her advice. It's just outrageous. It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm offended.
Now, how's that for a rookie, Charlotte?
That's right. A rookie indeed. Yeah, Charlotte Flair, ultimately attacked her. I get it. Well, that's what happens when you get on somebody's nerves, and there's Bianca Belair is trying to get back at Charlotte Flair. But here's the thing. I don't think that Charlotte Flair needed to attack her because she's a royalty, right? She shouldn't get pissed off so fast, and she shouldn't get physical with somebody so fast, considering she's a royalty. So, yeah, and look at that. They just had a, back and forth, a little violent action there, if I may. And now, a few seconds later, Bianca Belair again is spanking herself, whipping her hair, dancing. It's just plain weird. It's weird, and that's it. It makes no sense. Wow. The way she whips her hair just is weird. It's weird. Okay, so we're getting a recap of last week's Raw, and I must say, last week's Raw was terrible. It was horrible. It was hard to do a watch long for last week's Raw. I'll just be honest with you. Tonight, I hope it's a different story. We did start a Raw with Charlotte Flair, the Queen, so it looks promising. It looks better than what we had last week. But let's see. Okay, we've seen Kofi and Xavier backstage in Gorilla. So tonight basically, tells us if Xavier Woods is going to the finals, is going to Saudi Arabia to win the King of the Ring Championship tournament. So let's see if it happens, but it would be very likely if it is very unlikely for it to not happen. I do expect Xavier to win and to ultimately go on to the finals. Is he gonna be the King of the Ring? That has yet to be seen. Kind of a missed opportunity. They could have had Kofi Kingston versus Xavier Woods tonight. But by making Kofi Kingston lose last week, we're just getting Kofi Kingston in the corner of Xavier Woods. Missed opportunity, but we know how the WWE creative works. They work in strange ways. And maybe they thought that today or now was not their time for these two to feud or these two to face each other. Maybe they have this reserved for a bigger stage, for the grander stage. But let's see.
I will be sitting on that throne with that crown on my head as king. Xavier Woods, the first of his name. Hail, King Woods!
Xavier Woods basically already, feeling like royalty, talking like royalty. He says that this Thursday, he'll be sitting on the throne with the crown on his head, and he will be Xavier Woods, the first of his name, so which means Xavier Woods 1. So he's already looking forward to Xavier Woods 2, 3, 4, something like King Arthur or whatnot, all-time greats, rulers of this world. And he already feels like top of the world. He already feels like a royalty. You can tell just by looking at him. So tonight is Xavier Woods versus Jinder Mahal. Xavier Woods is expected to win this one, but don't get me wrong, don't give me that heel heat. I would love for Xavier to lose and for Jinder Mahal to win. And don't get me wrong, guys. I just like Jinder Mahal, and I think it would be nice to be something different and unexpected, and it will get Twitter and Instagram very, very angry, and that's why I'm all in for it. I want Jinder Mahal to actually win this one, believe it or not. I do. All right, so we're now off to a commercial break, and we're getting a commercial for Crown Jewel with Riyadh Tourism at the top of the screen. Okay. This is the one thing that I don't like about WWE shows, and that's the amount of commercials we have to go through. We have to see every time we're watching WWE. Teased to see you. So good to see you too, sir. So good to see you too. Hope you're doing well. Right, let me quickly let our followers, our fans on Instagram know that we are live, and we're live with Monday Night Raw's Watch Along. And if they're here, they should tune in. You know why they should tune in? Because this is the best way to watch Raw. Just like KJ says, you wouldn't want to watch Raw alone, right? You would want to watch Raw with a buddy in your living room, and that's why you should tune into these watch alongs to really get a feel of having a buddy in your room as you watch Monday Night Raw. All right. All right, now we're back from commercial. Finally, we're back from commercial, and we're seeing that next week, Monday Night Raw season premiere, the draft will finally be in effect, and we're gonna see, something that's very interesting, something that really stands out to me on this new Raw brand page. It's not Stevenson, it's not Gable Stevenson. It's actually Jinder Mahal's very own Shanky, who's going to be drafted to Raw next week all alone. He's not going to be a part of Jinder Mahal and Veer's faction, but Shanky's going to be all alone. So that's what really is interesting to me. Is Shanky going to be all alone? Is he going to enjoy a solo run? Or is Shanky going to be paired with his former best friend who was punished, who is being punished even now, for his actions at NXT? Is he going to be paired again with him? I've said this before that Shanky doesn't fit in with Veer and Jinder because Shanky is not Punjabi, right? Veer and Jinder are, but Shanky is not. So he doesn't fit in. It's different. It's not that you just put all Indians together and it works. It does not work like that. And they have different backgrounds, they have different cultures, and that's why he just doesn't fit in. So if they actually bring back his former best friend from NXT, it might work, you know. Or if they let him do his own thing in a solo run, it might work. But with Jinder and Veer, it does not work. So I'm happy that they've realized it. If they realized it and they're doing something with him, packaging him differently, that would work. He needs his own entrance music. He needs his own Tron. He needs his own character. Just to be paired with Jinder Mahal at this point for no reason and being forced to adapt to the whole Punjabi kind of like entrance music and theme, it just doesn't work for Shanky. He needs his own freedom. So I'm glad he's getting that. Veer and Jinder can go there. They both have the same background, same cultures, so it fits in well, fits in perfectly. But let's see what they do with Shanky starting next Monday. Let's see if they actually decide to turn him heel right now and make Jinder lose this match. Anything could happen. Let's see what happens though.
Let's talk about motivation for Jinder Mahal since SummerSlam coming short against Drew McIntyre. He's been crawling his way back to the top. Winning this tournament would be a huge step for him. No doubt about it. Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion in his own right, would love to restore some luster, some prestige to the name of the Maharaja and just ran Woods right over like an 18-wheeler. That's the thing that Xavier Woods cannot do is go toe-to-toe with Jinder Mahal. Can't make it about size, can't make it about strength. Because those advantages Jinder Mahal would love to take the 7-foot Shanky to Friday Night SmackDown with him this week as the brand new king of the ring. Think of the confidence that would give Jinder Mahal on his new home.
Tonight we're getting a weird match. It's a tag team match between Drew McIntyre, Big E versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I don't know. I don't know that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode were so relevant or so important even now that they would be facing former champion and current WWE champion in a tag team match. I had no idea that this tag team still got it, or still people cared about it. But people are apparently doing. That's why we're getting this match tonight. I don't know how it's going to help with the feud. I don't know how it's going to help with the story. But we're getting this match, and let's see if it actually delivers. I'm not really excited about it, but let's see. Alright, so let's turn our attention to this match on the screen right now. So good to see everybody tuning in tonight. Thank you for being here. Alright, so Jinder Mahal is hitting Xavier hard. Xavier is down for now, and he looks very weak. As Jinder puts the pain to Xavier, he looks quite weak. He's not able to really fight back. He tried right there, but he failed. Alright, he's trying again with the roll-up pin, but Xavier overall looks weak. He looks like he's having a hard time dominating Jinder Mahal and getting the upper hand in this match. Makes me feel like, do we really need such a weak champion? I don't know. I don't think so. We need a strong champion, right? We need somebody who can defend his crown and really is a threat to everybody. We need somebody like Brock Lesnar to be the king. Not Xavier Woods, because he's definitely not able to, even get through the qualifying semi-final match. But let's see what happens. Alright, so we're looking at a commercial for Crown Jewel again, and we're seeing the likes of Roman Reigns, Bianca Belair on the promo for Crown Jewel. And while we can criticize the stuff that WWE does all day long, we can talk about it. This is something that they've done beautifully. Crown Jewel, the women being featured on the show was something that you wouldn't have expected to happen in a million years. You would have never expected to see women actually fighting in Saudi Arabia. Even the Saudi Arabians themselves would have never expected to see such a day. But they did, and they do, thanks to the WWE. WWE definitely changed the landscape in Saudi Arabia. Maybe Saudi Arabia did want to change, to gain more tourists, to really put out an image that, hey, we're not backwards, we're progressive. You should be visiting us and giving us your tourism money because we let the women wrestle. We let women wrestle. We allow an equality. We're here for equality of all genders and whatnot. Maybe that's the message they want to send across. So it would happen with or without the WWE, but WWE was a medium for them to really propagate this message across the world. And But anyone, no matter the reason, no matter the circumstances, WWE did create this change, did bring this change about in Saudi Arabia, and that's something that you have to applaud them for. They've done a good job, good for Saudi Arabia's image and good for WWE's image itself. So they've done definitely a good job. And I remember that the first time we had a show in Saudi Arabia, and during the show, in one of the promos, they featured women. Just the promos for an upcoming pay per view, they featured women, and there were reports afloat that the people in attendance and the royal family in attendance were not happy with women being featured in a promo during the show. And WWE even had to apologize to the people of Saudi Arabia because of it, because of the promo. And now we're looking at a promo for Saudi Arabia's own show with women being featured, with women being, wrestlers and wrestling during the show itself. It's a proud moment. And if you guys don't realize how important it is for women to wrestle in these countries, I'll tell you, I interviewed the husband of Elevate Pro. It's a promotion in Louisiana. So it's run by Brittany Nicole. I interviewed Brittany and I also interviewed her husband. And her husband, he's an incredible guy himself. He does commentary for SWE. He does commentary all across the world in various promotions. He's had the pleasure of working with promotions in the Middle East, in Pakistan, and he's been very candid about it. He says that he's all in for advocating for women's wrestling, especially in these countries, because he feels like through wrestling you send across a message for equality, and you let the society know that hey, women can go head to head, toe to toe with men, even in wrestling. They're no less. They're just as powerful. So it's very important, especially in these countries and societies, that women wrestle and they're allowed to wrestle because it's all about equality, not just in the ring, but outside of the ring in real life. So we should all be for advocating for women's wrestling. And we're back from commercial, and we're seeing Xavier Woods finally trying to fight back, finally trying to gain momentum, finally trying to gain the upper hand in this match. Jinder Mahal carries him on his shoulders. All right, just like I said, Xavier Woods looks so weak during this show, during this match so far, that he does not even look like he's deserving of of the king of the ring crown. He's having a hard time getting the upper hand, dominating Jinder Mahal. So, as a king, how can he even protect his people? How can he even protect his brand? He cannot. He's a weak contender for the crown, and he already looks like a very weak king, so there is no way he should be king. Yes, the commentators say that Xavier Woods is not quitting, is continuing to fight, but
It's Tuesday.
but Santino Marella did not quit either. Santino Marella continued to fight as well. I can go on and on. Jimmy Wang Yang did not quit either. I can talk about all these jobbers that never quit, but they did lose, or they were just weak. You did not give them the title of the King of the Ring, just because they were resilient or something. No, you did not. Look at that. He tried to do a top dive from the top row. He failed. Jinder Mahal with the finisher. Now trying to go for the pin. Now, we all know how it's going to end up, though. We all know that Xavier Woods is going to, show that he's a fighting man. He's a very determined guy. He's going to fight through all the evils and all the strong men, and he's going to win. I get it. But he just looks so weak. And, for the Jinder Mahal lovers or haters, that Jinder Mahal isn't the strongest guy on the roster. He doesn't have the best win-loss track record on the roster. So for Xavier Woods to be having a hard time against Jinder Mahal, it makes no sense. This match was pure crap. And this match was pure crap, and I'll tell you why. Throughout the match, Throughout the match, Xavier Woods had a hard time dominating. He did not dominate, he took a beating. Last few seconds of the match, not even a minute, a few seconds, he tosses Jinder Mahal from the top row, and he goes for the dive, and he's able to pin Jinder Mahal. That's it. That's all he did. That is all he did. And he won the match because of a top dive. Alright. Stupid. Stupid to say the least. The way that they choreographed this match is stupid. But anyways, it would be entertaining to see Xavier Woods as the king. He would be different. Since he's not capable of winning championships, he might just as well win the King of the Ring tournament and make something out of it. Make something out of the crown. So, yeah, a little too early for the celebration, but he's super happy. He looks happy. Xavier Woods is now going to the finals of the King of the Ring, and the final is going to take place this Thursday in Saudi Arabia, where Xavier Woods is going to meet the Prince Finn Balor. And traditionally, it's the Prince who goes on to become the King, but the Prince has a hurdle in his way, and that hurdle is in the form of Xavier Woods. Is the Prince going to be King? Or is Xavier Woods going to be king? We will see it all turn out this Thursday at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. Let's see how that goes. And again, we're getting a recap from last Monday. It's a show that I don't want to be reminded of, considering of how bad it was. It was a bad show. Austin Theory versus Jeff Hardy was perhaps one of the best matches from that show, and that goes on to tell you how bad of a show that was.
Up to Jeff Hardy, but last week I was looking down at Jeff Hardy.
Alright, we just saw Austin Theory in a backstage interview, and now we're seeing the rest of the 24/7 monkeys going after each other for no reason whatsoever. I don't even know why are these guys even hired by the WWE, considering how they love firing people. How is this guy Reggie even a part of the WWE? But he is. I'm Theory. You're a theorist. What? Hold on, kiddo. By the way, R-Truth and his comical, promos or whatever are getting cringy, to say the least. Even for R-Truth, they're getting a bit too cringy and a bit too boring. I'll tell you that. I'll send you a challenge. On one condition. You get permission from your mommy to stay up late. Got it! I don't know. I just googled R-Truth's age out of curiosity. Considering the type of jokes he makes and the way he acts. R-Truth's age, guys, believe it or not, is 49 years. He's 49 years old. And he's running around like a little kid. He's making jokes like a teenager. Not even teenagers make such jokes, by the way, anymore. Especially now in this age. Teenagers are far too, mature than R-Truth is. So for him to be making such jokes, going around, acting like whatever he's acting like, it's just shameful. It makes no sense. But this is the WWE and this is R-Truth, their hottest commodity. And Vince McMahon loves his jokes and loves the stuff that he comes up with. So, can't do anything about it. I still miss and I remember the R-Truth we had back in the day. That was the R-Truth, the What's Up R-Truth. You remember him? How he used to make his entrance, while singing the song What's Up and really get the crowd to its feet. That was an exciting R-Truth. I remember him very, very well. I think it was 2009, 2010 or something like that. When he used to do that stuff, it was very, very entertaining, to say the least. But the R-Truth we see now is kind of stale, kind of like old, but still acting dumb, not really bringing anything to the table in terms of talent. But he's there because Vince McMahon loves him, and he's apparently easier to deal with than Bray Wyatt ever was, and that's why he's still there. But in terms of talent, what does R-Truth bring? I would say he brings nothing. But I guess experience counts, and your love from Vince McMahon, the love that you receive from McMahon counts. So good for Truth, though. Good for Truth. And we're watching the commercial break. We're on commercial break right now. This is something that I love about AEW, and I also love about Impact Wrestling. And guys, if you're not watching Impact Wrestling, I must say you're missing out because Impact Wrestling is bringing to you some of the best professional wrestling that you see on the market. I mean, if you are a fan of the indie circuit, if you're a fan of, let's say, ROH, NJPW and whatnot, which is not as hard to consume in America, especially, or in the UK. It's not too easy to consume ROH because you don't know where to tune in. It's not very easy to consume NJPW because you don't know where to tune in. You must tune into Impact Wrestling, which is very easily accessible, and they're delivering just brilliant, just dream matches one after the other. If you want to talk about D matches, I spoke to one of the Impact Wrestling's finest just earlier today. And by finest, I mean the finest. By finest, I mean one of the best wrestlers, or maybe somebody who considers themselves to be the best wrestler in the world today. I spoke to them not too long ago, and I asked them if they would want to fight one of the top guys from AEW and collect their title, since they are sort of a collector themselves. And they said, heck yeah. They said they might even actually no. I'm not even gonna go to details because that was a very spicy interview, with a lot of great news, less known news, and that interview is gonna be out very soon, and it's gonna get people talking. It's gonna get people talking in terms of what is next for the star. What does future hold for them? Because future is bright for them, and they're more than ready. They're more than ready, and they're determined to be champion forever. So let's see how their match turns out at Bound for Glory, because they're bound to wrestle at Bound for Glory. That's supposed to be a very exciting match. Hello, David. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, and for the guys who are tuning in right now, be sure to share this live stream with your friends, with your fellow wrestling friends, the fans of wrestling, because we need your support. We need more people, more eyes on the project, because we're here live every single day with watch-alongs for every single wrestling show out there. We're doing news, breaking news, and we're doing all the other shows. In addition, we're doing So What Sundays, we're doing hot takes, we're doing all kinds of shows every single week of the day, even the weekend. So help us get more eyes to the product. Share this channel with your friends. We're already the #1 wrestling news source on Instagram. Let's take on YouTube too. Help us. Thank you. And now we're getting some kind of a hype video package between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. And I'm not a very big fan of these because of how big and long and elaborate these packages are. I understand that you need to keep your viewers, casual, semi-casual, hardcore fans. You need to keep them informed and up to date with everything that's taken place so far. You need to let them know that, okay, like 3 weeks ago this happened, 2 weeks ago this happened, 1 week ago this happened, and that's why these people are resting at Crown Jewel. I get it. But these packages are just way too long for like a TV show. And we are here to watch live TV. If you want to make it, if you really want to give us a recap, make it quick, make it like a minute or maximum 2 minutes, and then just go on with the show. Let's not do a 5 minute or 4 minute recap and expect us to be hyped about it. This is something that they could have posted, and I'm pretty sure they will be posting to YouTube, and we're gonna be watching it on YouTube as well. So for it to air during Raw, I don't know. Not the biggest fan of such big commercials. And David says, I need the WCW Goldberg at Crown Jewel. I agree. I need that Goldberg too. I mean, the Goldberg that we see right now, I'm not the biggest fan of him. You know, he's a different guy. For me, he's a different guy. But I can tell you, I did interview Bobby Lashley prior to his match against Goldberg at SummerSlam. And even though Bobby Lashley's a heel, he's a bad guy who should be hating on Goldberg. When I asked him about Goldberg and asked him if he respected Goldberg, Bobby Lashley basically broke his character. He could not, Bobby Lashley could not continue with his heel gimmick. He broke his character and he started praising Goldberg, started telling us how he's always loved Goldberg ever since he was a kid and how honored he was to fight Goldberg at SummerSlam. So he was basically being a baby face about it. But midway throughout the interview, through the interview midway, he realized what he's doing and he's not being the best bad guy. And he just quickly switched gears, and got into his heel mode back again, and started talking about how he was just going to destroy Goldberg and end his career. So it was a bit funny, if you can just tune into our interview with Bobby Lashley. It's right here on our YouTube channel under the Wrassing Show playlist. So tune into the interview with Bobby Lashley prior to his match at SummerSlam against Goldberg and see how he broke his character because of his love for Goldberg. So I'm pretty sure he's excited as he's going to be facing Goldberg at Crown Jewel because he just loves Goldberg. And I don't know if you noticed it, but I just saw the production crew sitting there ringside next to the commentary table. And when Jeff Hardy was making his entrance and getting there, they basically had their hands on their head and they were looking down. Basically, I don't know why. I don't know if they were instructed to do that, but it's just weird that they had to do that. I mean, if they really feel like the production crew is kind of a hurdle between Jeff Hardy and the fans, they could have just asked them to move to the side, if they did not want them there. But for them to hold their heads, look down like that, it was kind of weird. Kind of embarrassing, too. So, weird for sure. Just like we're hearing, Austin Theory said just moments ago that he's grown up watching and looking up to Jeff Hardy. But last week on Raw, he looked down at Jeff Hardy because he won and Jeff Hardy lost to Austin Theory, and that's why Austin Theory is yet again over here wrestling Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy is looking for revenge. The commentator said that last week Jeff Hardy wasn't the weaker guy; he was just the ill-prepared guy, and tonight he's looking for revenge. All right, David asks, "What are your thoughts on Roman's comments on CM Punk?" So, I mean, I don't think that I would disagree with Roman Reigns and all that he said about CM Punk. Roman Reigns has said a lot about Punk. This the recent interview that he did, where he spoke about Punk. Wasn't his first comments on CM Punk. He's spoken about him before as well. He spoke about Punk before he made his debut for AEW, and Roman has always been critical of Punk. And I kind of find it a little weird considering how CM Punk was supposed to be the leader of the Shield. And he was supposed to be the guy who would lead the Shield at first. That was the first creative plan. And I can see that not none of them, but at least Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins don't really respect CM Punk, especially Reigns does not. And as much as I would like to disagree with Reigns, I don't disagree with him because I feel like CM Punk's return has been nothing but underwhelming. I was hyped when I saw him return. I was hyped when I saw that entrance music hit. When I heard the music hit on Rampage, I saw the crowd cry. Punk making his entrance. It was emotional. And as I talk about it, I'm still getting goosebumps, by the way, because of how good that return was. But the return has been nothing but underwhelming. And that's because of the creative. I'm not going to blame Punk. Yes, I do. I would say that he has slowed down just a bit. He's not the same as he was 7 years ago when he was competing, in shows like. Actually, he was red hot and he was really very good in 2011. He was even better in 2009, when he was holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. But obviously, with age and with time, you do get slower. We've seen this with Chris Jericho. We've seen with this countless other stars, and we're seeing the same with CM Punk. With age, you do get slow, and that's understandable, right? But the kind of creative that has been behind his return is weird and it's lazy. CM Punk's return has been underwhelming, and it's because of the little thought that they've put into it. CM Punk's return and the way that they could have booked him, the hype around him could have been astronomical. As hyped as people were for his return, people are not as hyped whenever he makes his appearance on AEW, and that's every single week. If he's not wrestling, he's doing commentary. They're treating CM Punk the same way that they treat Chris Jericho. When he's not wrestling, he's doing commentary. When he's not doing commentary, he is there to say something on the microphone. When he's not saying something on the microphone, he's wrestling somebody who people don't even know. And I'm not talking about AEW hardcore fans. I'm talking about the casual fans. I'm talking about the WWE fans who tune into AEW to watch CM Punk. And when they tune in to watch CM Punk, they want CM Punk to deliver amazing matches, amazing storytelling. They don't want tune in to watch him wrestle somebody who they don't even know. I'm talking about Hobbs. I'm talking about stars of AEW that WWE fans know nothing of. So I will talk more about it, but first let's talk about Cage's comment. I need Goldberg to stay away from wrestling. I agree. I'm surprised, KJ, that you would call him Goldberg, not Oldberg, considering your comment. Oldberg would be a better name for him, right? So, yes, just like I was saying, CM Punk and his return has been underwhelming. And I'm getting a very amazing commercial here for NXT 2.0 and Halloween Havoc, which is great, fantastic. Anyways, I was talking about Tony Khan. And Tony Khan, before CM Punk made his debut for AEW, and at the very same day that he made his debut, that morning Tony Khan said that from that night, everything changes in wrestling. The landscape of wrestling, as we know, changes. He said that AEW was going to get a lot more fans. It's going to attract a lot more fans at from the same night, and that was because of CM Punk's debut. But not a lot has changed. The ratings haven't changed drastically, and this was something that I predicted. We saw the same with Sting's debut. We saw the same with Jon Moxley. We've seen the same with all these other stars who jumped ship from WWE to AEW. Every time they made their debut, the ratings went up for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and 2 weeks later, the ratings went down again. And who do you blame for it? Do you blame the stars for not bringing in the fans with them, or do you blame the creative? It's WWE creative that gets criticized a lot, but AEW creative is barely under scrutiny. And I'm gonna go on my foot and I'm gonna say that the creative behind AEW when it comes to CM Punk really dropped the ball because he has not been booked in a way that would please the WWE fans. And believe it or not, I know that Tony Khan loves his fan base. He calls his fan base more educated and more financially strong, the richest fan base when it comes to professional wrestling. He calls them that. He's proud of them. I understand that they want to cater to his favorite fan base, that is the existing AEW fan base. But you have to agree, they want more fans from the WWE, right? That's the only reason how they're gonna build their fan base and grow their fan base. Without the WWE fans, the product is going nowhere, staying where it is right now. They're not gonna create a new WWE without the WWE fan base. They need the fans over from that company. And with the kind of creative that's been put behind CM Punk's return, him facing newcomers from AEW, he facing people that they don't even know from AEW, it makes no sense. They need to build him better. They need to have him wrestle some of the older WWE guys. I know that CM Punk wants to wrestle newer guys, put them over, which he's not. He's still winning every single match he competes in, by the way. But he needs better booking to gain the casual fans over. We need CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. We need CM Punk versus Jon Moxley. We need to get all this nostalgia in for fans to tune in. CM Punk versus Hobbs or CM Punk versus Darby Allin isn't going to do it anymore. We need the nostalgia. We need bigger names when it comes to CM Punk. And just like that, by the way, Austin Theory has won. He defeated Jeff Hardy and he just took a selfie with Hardy. And Jeff Hardy is up and he goes for the twist of fate on Austin Theory. And I believe, is he gonna? I think Jeff Hardy is also gonna take a selfie of his own on the phone. Is he? Yeah, he is. Or is he gonna delete it? Oh, he is. He's taking a selfie. Real cute. Real cute. Okay. This is why I tuned in. This looks like a cutscene from a WWE 2K game. It does. But I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine. As long as Jeff Hardy is getting his paycheck and he's happy, I guess that's fine. We got nothing to complain about. I mean, Jeff Hardy looks happy, and he's doing whatever he's doing. David says CM Punk versus. That's right, David. That's exactly right. CM Punk needs these big name matches to really, attract people from WWE and other promotions, attract fans. So that needs to happen. CM Punk versus the Elite would be amazing. But let's see when they do it. And now we're getting a recap again from last Monday, where we saw Drew McIntyre and Big E team up against the Usos. And of course, during the match, we saw Drew McIntyre and Big E really get violent and start beating each other up. And it was funny because during the same show, a few minutes ago, we saw this some kind of same scenario play out in a women's match where the women started to fight each other in a tag team match. Their own tag team partners started to fight each other, and they actually ended the match in a disqualification because the partners started to beat each other up. And the same night, when the men do it, WWE does nothing about it. The match did not end in a disqualification. It was just weird. It is weird. It was just like using your own rules when you're comfortable with them, or maybe making up your own rules when you're comfortable with it. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Cages says, I'm in for Coral versus Punk. Of course, yeah. At Survivor Series, the Bloodline versus the Elite. That's something what dreams are made up of. But sadly, Survivor Series is not about WWE versus AEW. It's about the WWE. I'm sorry, it's about the Raw versus SmackDown still. So, we're not going to get the Elite versus Bloodline yet. You never know when the Forbidden Door is kicked in and it's kicked in open. But for now, the Forbidden Door in the WWE only exists for Raw and SmackDown. So, and free agents, by the way. There has been one woman wrestler who actually appeared both on WWE Raw and AEW Dark on the same night, the very same night. And it happened out of nowhere. She wasn't expecting for it to happen because both the shows were taped and just luck was on her side, and she made history by appearing on both the shows together. I had the pleasure of speaking with her, one of the greatest interviews that I've done. The interview is currently up on Instagram if you're curious, but it'll be up on Spotify and YouTube shortly. That's an interview you would not want to miss either. You're right. 2001, those were the good old days. Good times indeed. And right now, when we're seeing, all these companies kicking the Forbidden Door open, we're seeing Impact, AEW, we're seeing AAA, we're seeing NJPW, all these companies, ROH, we're seeing all of these companies, the Forbidden Door is gone. It's open, wide open. And we're seeing WWE. WWE kind of looks like, the one stubborn kid who does not want to play with the others right now. So it looks like WWE, doesn't want to collaborate with the other companies. They don't need to. They're the biggest wrestling company in the world right now. They've got a stacked roster of their own. I get it. They realize that there is no other company that is on the same par, the same level, and they feel like if they collaborate with another wrestling company, they're just putting that company over, and they're giving some promotion to that company, and making their competition even stronger by giving their fan base to their company. I understand that. I get it. From a business perspective, It makes no sense for WWE to collaborate with the smaller companies. But a fan can only dream, and a fan can only dream of something like the Elite versus the Bloodline. I mean, that's something that dreams are made up of, and nobody can stop the fans from dreaming. And who knows? It's a crazy times, crazy years, unpredictable years. You never know if we're gonna see that match. If you're gonna see AEW versus WWE at Survivor Series, would be great. It's a crazy, crazy years in terms of wrestling. The unexpected has happened, so let's keep our mindset wide open because anything is possible in the wrestling rings. Anything. David says the Rock called of his WWE return. So not surprised because on Instagram we already broke the story a few months ago that The Rock was not going to come back this year, at least, or next year. It's because he's busy filming. Rock is a busy man. He is not in for WrestleMania 38. He's not going to be a part of it. He's not going to be in Texas. What currently is the plan, according to what we reported a few months ago, is that he is set in place for WrestleMania Hollywood, which is WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles. That's where WWE wants The Rock to return and wrestle Roman Reigns. What would be interesting is if they're able to keep the title on Roman Reigns' shoulder for 2 years. I mean, he's done a beautiful job being the champion for this whole year. He's done an incredible job. I mean, there's no doubt about it. His title run has been incredible. I mean, if you compare the same title run, because Roman Reigns was around the same time as Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre has dropped the Raw title countless times. We've seen the title change hands. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, the list goes on and on. We've seen the title change hands many times. Roman Reigns has been champion all this time, and he's been a very entertaining and a really very well fighting champion. So I don't think he would have any problem holding on to the title for yet another year. But how are they going to do it? How are they going to keep it entertaining? Is what intrigues me the most. So for Roman Reigns to hold on to the title for 2 years, and for The Rock to just make his return in Hollywood, his home, and challenge his cousin for the title. After Roman Reigns is so red hot, when he's so red hot, 2 years champion. Rock's red hot in Hollywood will be great. So I'm excited. And thinking about it gives me goosebumps. And now we're seeing Sonya Deville with the guy backstage and Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte, actually, we were discussing the Raw season premiere next week and our plans for it. Not that it's any of your business.
What are you even talking about?
You didn't ask me if I wanted to defend my title. You told me I had to defend my title. And then to let Bianca come out there and interrupt me, the disrespect. In the middle of my farewell speech, no champagne, no balloons, no t-shirts, no farewell.
I like how Charlotte Flair is still talking about the champagne and the balloons. I do agree with her, If you were Charlotte Flair, you'd feel the same way. I mean, you carried the Raw brand on your back. And now when you're leaving, now when you've been drafted over to SmackDown, you're not even celebrating the occasion. You're not even thanking her.
It's not a conspiracy. It makes perfectly logical sense to have the two of you in a main event match. You can't replace me with Bianca. And after Crown Jewel, I'll still be the Raw Women's Champion and the new face of SmackDown.
I would hate for Charlotte Flair to drop the title. Sorry, Vince McMahon. I know you hate the word belt, but I would hate for Charlotte Flair to drop the title to Bianca Belair. I would hate for that to happen. And the match is actually going to take place in the main event of Monday Night RAW tonight. Let's see how it turns out. But I would hate for Charlotte Flair to drop the Raw Women's title to Bianca Belair because why should she? Let's have her take the Raw Women's title to SmackDown and be a fighting champion still. Rub it in Raw's face, rub it in the face of Sonya Deville and that guy. That hey, I can go to SmackDown, and since you didn't deliver a proper farewell for me, I'm gonna take your title as well, and I'm not gonna be, just courteous enough to give it back to you. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna rub it in your face. It will be something new, right? It will be something refreshing. I'd like for that to happen. What happened earlier on Raw? We saw Austin Theory versus Archer. We saw Charlotte Flair open the show, with a speech. She was complaining about how WWE failed to give her a proper farewell from Raw, since she won't be appearing on Raw from next week when the draft takes place in effect. And we see the season premiere of both Raw and SmackDown. Charlotte Flair will be drafted over to SmackDown, so she was angry about how WWE did not celebrate her farewell with balloons and champagne and confetti and pyros. And she was complaining about how Bianca Belair does not deserve a shot at the title. Bianca Belair came out, whipped her hair, just tossed Charlotte Flair out of the ring, and then celebrated with some more hair whipping, and that's about it. So if you missed the early bit of Raw, I got you covered. That's probably all that happened. Nothing more than that. So you're fine. And now we're seeing a tag team match between Big E, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Now, I never realized that Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, as I said earlier, I never realized that these two were so relevant or so important that they would be facing, Drew McIntyre and Drew and Big E on Raw. Like, when did they become so relevant? I don't know. We're seeing this match. Let's see how it turns out. Yeah, but it's kind of getting boring because 2 weeks ago we saw Big E and Drew team up on Raw in the tag team match. Last week we saw the same thing. Why do you have to be so repetitive? I understand that these two are facing each other shortly. I understand that both of them are baby faces, but does that mean that they have to team up, you know, to build their match against each other at Crown Jewel? Did they really have to team up for it? I don't think so. But that's what they're doing, and they're doing it for 3 weeks straight. So I can only ask you one question: are you entertained? Because I am. I am not. I've got my doubts about this feud. So
See how they do now. Big E starting off against Dolph Ziggler. McIntyre's lulling Big E with a false sense of security, and Big E's smart enough to know it. Big E knows he can't trust Drew McIntyre. Big E realizes that McIntyre's mission is to take Big E's WWE Championship. The champion walks alone, dances alone as well. McIntyre always thinks funny about a champion. To your point, what I'm saying is, the physical ability.
all right, so we're seeing Big E dominate this match early on. Dolph Ziggler, of course, having a hard time keeping up with Big E's momentum, as he should. Big E is the WWE champion. He deserves better matches than wrestling Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode on Raw. He deserves better. But here we are. We're seeing this happening right now. Let's see. All right, so hello. Good to see people tuning in. Thanks for being here. And now Big E and now Drew McIntyre basically showboating, telling Big E how to do it. Showing him how a real wrestler, how a real champion chops his opponent, using Dolph Ziggler as a drag doll. Just having fun with him. Dolph Ziggler kind of showing him that, hey, you can't use me as a puppet to show off. I'm the show off. I'm the one who steals the spotlight, not you. And here we are with Robert Roode matching trunks with Dolph Ziggler and all pink. Okay. And now he climbs on the second rope, landing punches at Drew McIntyre, showing off a little bit. Drew McIntyre kind of looks dazed for some reason. I don't get why, but he looks dazed. Robert Roode shoves him to the corner of the ring. Drew McIntyre, okay, and he lays him down. Robert Roode is down. Drew McIntyre is happy. Picks him up. He's going for a suplex. Is he going to be able to do it? He does it. With a suplex to Robert Roode. Robert Roode's hurt. The show has been average. I mean, considering how bad it was last week, tonight's show has been okay. We've seen some decent action. We've seen more wrestling tonight than we did see last week on Friday with SmackDown. We've seen more wrestling in comparison to that. We've seen, Austin Theory, Jeff Hardy, we're watching this match right now. This is more wrestling than we saw last week. And the show has been going on. Good to see people tuning in. Thank you for being here. And the show has been going on for an hour. It's been exactly an hour since we've been doing this live show. And we've still got 2 more hours on the clock. Isn't Raw really fun? So had this been NXT or SmackDown, we would only have 1 more hour, but we have 2 hours before we get to the main event, which is Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair in the main event of Monday Night Raw for the Raw Women's Championship. And Robert Roode shoves Big E to the steel steps on the side, in the corner, and Big E's hurt. And we go to commercial. This is one of the reasons why WWE's Raw is so long, because we have so many commercials and we have highlights and we have backstage promos and we have the 24/7 monkeys. We have all the stuff, and we also have a little bit of wrestling. That's why these shows are so long. But we should just, I guess, enjoy wrestling without complaining. So, but tomorrow, just like I mentioned earlier, tomorrow we are revamping our watch-alongs. Just like WWE revamped their NXT show and made it NXT 2.0, we're trying something new tomorrow. And it's a trial run, it's a test run. Let's see how it goes. There could be some errors, but we're going to try live streaming, doing the watch along with you, watching WWE NXT 2.0 with you, while we're going to be also live streaming from our PlayStation 5, and we're going to be playing the game Spider-Man Remastered with you. So you could enjoy both our watch along, with the WWE while we watch the show, and you could also enjoy the live stream. So, you are entertained in any way possible, in every way possible. We don't want to limit you to just wrestling, because these shows can get a little bit boring, a little bit stale, a little bit dull. We both know it, right? We know it, you know it, I know it, and that's why we've got you covered. If the shows get boring, if the commercials are way too much or way too long, we know how to keep you entertained, and that's by switching gears to PlayStation 5 and tuning in to some gameplay of your favorite games. So we're starting out with Spider-Man tomorrow. If you guys want, we will continue with Spider-Man and finish the game off, with these watch-alongs side by side. Or if you want to request another game, we've got a lot of more games that we can offer. So just let us know, and we'll be live streaming your favorite wrestling shows along with your favorite video games. So a treat indeed for all the wrestling fans and the gamers out there. It doesn't get any better than that. You don't see any other person or organization do such live streams for a wrestling show plus gaming. So something new, something refreshing, and we're trying it out tomorrow. Make sure to tune in. I'm excited how it turns out. I'm pretty sure you're excited too to see how it turns out. Let's see. Okay, and I'm probably getting this for the third time during this commercial. I'm getting a hype package between Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair. Actually, throughout this night, watching Raw, I've only gotten commercials for Crown Jewel featuring this particular match. I haven't seen commercials featuring Brock Lesnar. I haven't seen commercials featuring Drew McIntyre. I'm only getting commercials featuring these three women. Sends across a message. Okay. I know that WWE, around WrestleMania time, WWE was actually trying really hard to push Bianca Belair. I did get, shouldn't be revealing all of these details while we're doing this watch along to the public. But since, I've got no filter, I can say whatever I want to say, because Wrestling News is my home, right? It's my organization. Nobody's going to fire me from Wrestling News from saying what I'm going to say. But WWE did reach out to me around WrestleMania time, and they wanted to do something with Bianca Belair. Post some news, post some updates, interview her. Just do something with Bianca Belair. to basically highlight her and push her more. And that's what they want people to do. They want people to talk about. They wanted, at least back in WrestleMania season, they wanted people to talk about Bianca Belair because they wanted to push her. And I believe that they're still doing that. They're still on the route to push Bianca Belair as the next big thing, push Bianca Belair as the next Sasha Banks, as a big star. Have they been successful so far? Do you feel like you've been able to buy into the hype of Bianca Belair? Let me know in the comments. But for me, if I could say something, I would say that they haven't been successful. Not for me, because I feel like her personality is not there. I feel like what she's doing is she's playing out a character on camera, and it's not her true self. I don't see any sort of realism every time I see Bianca Belair. It just seems very scripted and very fake and very stretched out and choreographed. Everything that she does, from the wrestling to the promos to the little showboarding, everything. It just doesn't feel real. Doesn't feel. I don't feel comfortable watching her. Whip her hair and just spank herself or whatever she tries to do. Not the best thing to do. Not the best thing to watch, though. Yeah. All right, talking about showboarding, here we are, Robert Roode doing some push-ups right next to the WWE champion Big E. I don't know if you could book your champion in a stronger way than that, getting beat up by Robert Roode. Robert Roode, by the way, is absolutely nobody. He used to be the guy back in NXT. He used to be the guy when he made his debut, the main roster debut on SmackDown. People thought that, we're going to get big things from Robert Roode. We're going to see him in the big title pictures. But no, we just saw him getting paired up with Dolph Ziggler, and that's the only thing that's been saving him from getting fired from the company, I guess. He's done nothing else that's relevant. And for your champion to get booked in this way, getting beat up by Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, doesn't get any better than that, right? So yeah, that's how you book your champion. Getting beat up by Ziggler and Roode. Perfect. Perfect. I can now show it. Champion showing some resistance. I think he's gonna go in for the hot tag now. Drew McIntyre is going to be tagged. It looks like Dolph Ziggler is gonna reach Robert Roode and Big E is gonna reach Drew McIntyre at the same time, and the match is gonna end very very soon. Does look like it. Yeah, just like I said, both of them were able to reach their partners. Drew McIntyre gets in, laying the smack down on Robert Roode with a belly to belly, tosses him away. Another belly to belly suplex right there. Dolph Ziggler tries to come in with a belly to belly to Ziggler. Okay. I would love for Drew McIntyre to give a belly to Big E, or maybe to Brock Lesnar sometime in the future, because he's so good at these suplexes. And we know that Brock Lesnar loves taking people to Suplex City. I would like to see Drew McIntyre take Brock Lesnar to the belly Suplex City one day. That would be fun and entertaining, don't you think? I do think so. Alright, so the fans are fired up, by the way. Fans are loving this. Fans are they're on their feet. They're happy to see Drew McIntyre go. The hot tag was successful. Big E is up on the apron. Is Big E gonna try and cost Drew McIntyre the match? I don't know. Alright, so Dolph Ziggler. Okay. Robert Roode with a near fall there. Okay, so he tags in Dolph Ziggler. I don't know why I had the volume down so wrong. I wasn't enjoying the commentary. I was just giving you guys my own commentary, but that's okay. Okay, another near fall. These two better not get pinned by any of the these pink guys. That's Robert Roode or Dolph Ziggler. It will be just terrible for their momentum heading into Crown Jewel. So these two better not get pinned, by anybody tonight. But let's see. McIntyre definitely needs to tag in Big E, as Ziggler and Roode are now going for the double teamwork. Okay, McIntyre was able to dodge. Dolph Ziggler gets shoved into the corner, and he's down. Big E now offers a hand to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, is he gonna give him the tag. He does. Big E is fired up. He's in for the hot tag. I think he's gonna go for the big ending right here. Looks like it. And he does. Okay. We are seeing some respect between the two. We're seeing these two people work together, which is refreshing. It's good to see that, you know. These two do not always need to fight. When they're in a tag team, they can be respectful. They can work together. Good to see that happen tonight. Perfect. And now that the match is over, these two can really get at it. You know, they can remember that they are facing each other for the title in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel. But Drew McIntyre offers Big E a handshake. Big E takes McIntyre's hand. These people shake hands. Is somebody gonna turn on each other? Is that gonna happen? Maybe not. No, there was just some mutual respect. Oh wait, no, I think they're just playing around right now. There is, they're not. They're definitely not tagging each other. Not tonight. Okay. And now we're seeing the Street Profits. I mean, these people are just as annoying as I find Bianca Belair to be. You know what? I'm just gonna put my device on mute right now because I don't want to hear these two go on and on about how they are the coolest, the best, how they've got the most swagger. I can't stand these two. I mean, especially Angelo. You know, look at him go. Look at him dancing for no reason whatsoever. Even this guy, you know, the other guy. I just don't get it. Street Profits, I don't dig them. I can't stand them. Just don't understand the hype around these two. Okay, so are we back? I think there was some error with the. Okay, second. All right, sorry for the interruption. It seems like we had some network errors, but we're back on. We're not stopping. We can't stop. We won't stop, and we're back. And the Street Profits are still at it. They're still running their mouth, and thank God for AJ Styles and Omos who've just entered the picture. And you know what? I might just turn up my device volume now that the Street Profits have stopped talking.
It's my house. Hold on, wait a second. It's our house. Both are named on the list. Remember that? Okay. Anyway, listen. You're looking at the next Raw Tag Team Champions. Yeah, we're beating RK Bro. There's nothing to it. It's gonna be us at Crown Jewel. So, RK Bro, memory. Let's go. Hey, if you guys aren't too beat up from your street fight on SmackDown, not that anybody cares about SmackDown, because this is Monday Night Raw. And you play your cards right. And you put a hurting on RK Bro. Maybe you'll find your names at the top of the list when it comes to facing the Raw Tag Team Champions, aka Omos and AJ Styles. Top of the list.
I always say that Omos does not really have a personality of his own. I say that he's all that he has by himself is that he's tall, and he's been put together with AJ. But I must say that now that he's standing next to the Street Profits, I can say that he looks like he has more personality than the Street Profits do, and he has more charisma than they do. The only thing, the only thing about Omos is that he needs a new ring gear. He needs a bit of a repackage. He needs to be repackaged as not just a bouncer, a bodyguard, but a guy of his own standards. And look who's here. Mansoor is here. Mansoor is fighting Mustafa Ali in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel. And it's funny because, you know, as much as people love this team of Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, fans love Pat McAfee. And I must say, I find him really overrated. Now, this past Friday, Pat McAfee, when he was running down the card for Crown Jewel, they named each and every match that was taking place on the show, except for one match, and that's a match featuring a guy from from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That's Mansoor. Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali was not mentioned by McAfee or by Michael Cole during SmackDown. And Mustafa Ali was offended. He took to Twitter and he did remind the fans that, hey, just a reminder, this match between myself and Mansoor is still taking place at Crown Jewel, even though it was not promoted on SmackDown. So, a little bit of a failure from Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I'm not sure why they chose not to advertise the match, not to talk about it, not to promote it. But since Mansoor is here, it does look like WWE finally realized that, hey, yeah, we should be promoting this match too. Or maybe it's just a 3 hour show. They're like, what do we do with this show? We have so much time. They're like, oh, let's just put Mansoor in. So could happen. That could be the reason too. But let's see. Mansoor is getting a lot of TV time these days. And of course, Mansoor is from Saudi Arabia, and we know WWE's relation with Saudi Arabia. They keep returning to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia every single year. That's because of the money that they're getting from the country. That's because of the amount of big big money deal that they have agreed on. The two parties have agreed on. If we could compare this to the deal, they did not really have a deal with the Indian government whatsoever, but they did try to, just get into the Indian market and do something here. They did try it, and it failed because they had I believe, a 2 nights event planned for India, but the ticket sales were so poor. First of all, the tickets Indian fans complained that the tickets were too expensive for them. I believe that the front row tickets were in some thousands, some 10 or 20,000 front row tickets. So the Indian fans felt like the tickets were a bit too expensive for them, and the tickets didn't sell out. Not even for a single show. The tickets were a no sell, um, and they had a hard time selling the tickets for the event, and that's why WWE was forced to cancel one of the shows in India because they could not sell out, because they could not get audiences, and they had to cancel one of the shows. And from a 2 night event, they had to repackage it as a 1 night only event in New Delhi, India. And the other night that they had planned, that night took place in the Middle East. It took place in Abu Dhabi, following which the WWE crew flew down to India, which is not too long. It's about a 2 hour flight from Abu Dhabi to India, and they flew down to India and they did the match here, 1 night only. And that 1 night only match, it was still not a sellout crowd. There were not enough butts on the seats in the arena, so it was a failure. The merch sales were low. I believe they still are low. Everything about that, was bad, and that shows. You know what? Let's do something. Let's have a little bit of fun right now, since we're talking about India and we're talking about the merch sales. Let me pull up the website for Indian store for Indian merch in the WWE. All right, the WWE India merch store. Let's pull that up right now. Okay. Bear with me for a second as we pull up the store. Okay, I've got that pulled up, and I just want to show you guys that the difference there is between the merch store in India and in the UK or US or anywhere else in the world. Let's talk. All right, so we can see this is the merch store that they have in India. All right, and okay, so you see here they have some T-shirts, they have some tank tops in West, they have some title belts, some superstar gears. Let's look at the T-shirts, shall we? And the T-shirts are $5.99. They're not too expensive. They're just fine. We're seeing a Rock shirt that we've never actually seen the Rock wear. Okay, John Cena shirt is there because we know that the amount of fans John Cena has in India. So it's fair enough that they have his scare on the store. This again is a shirt that The Rock's never worn. This Acknowledge Me shirt looks weird. The print does not even look like something that Roman Reigns has worn. This photo looks photoshopped. You look at Randy Orton wearing a Raw shirt. Again, it's a Photoshop. You look at John Cena's black shirt. I mean, again, something that he's never worn. Head of the table is there. Okay, fine. So these are the shirts that you barely see on TV. These are very old shirts if they are there. We are seeing a WCW Nitro shirt now randomly. A Cena shirt that we've never seen him wear ever. So these are some random merch shirts. These are not even this is not even real official merch. And that's about it. That's just the number of shirts that they are selling in India right now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that's not even a shirt. That's a hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. So about 28 shirts they're selling in India. 27 shirts, and that's about it. That's the shirts that they're selling. If you look at the title belts, they don't have any title belts. They just say that, hey, we're selling title belts, but they have none. You know, and that's about it. The whole website for WWE India just has about 27 shirts, and that's it. So it just goes on to show that, hey, WWE's run in India or their Indian experiment was nothing but a failure. It was a terrible failure, and it took the company nowhere in India. You can just tell the story by looking at their merch store. I thought that I would compare the Indian store with the store that they have in America currently, but I will not do that because it's not even worth the comparison. 27 shirts, that's it for the entire roster. You have more people wrestling on 205 Live, than you have shirts in the WWE 27. And most of the shirts are, John Cena or Roman Reigns. I believe Roman Reigns has like 4 or 5 shirts. John Cena has like 3 or 4 shirts. So the merch store is underwhelming. They're not coming back to India just like the way they come back to Saudi Arabia every single year or the UK every single year, even Australia. So it goes on to show that the Jinder Mahal experiment was a failure, and they're not interested in the country anymore. They're just not. AEW is here. AEW is here in India, but let's see if they're able to capitalize on it. It's a unique market. Anyways, enough of the talk about India and Saudi Arabia. Let's focus on what we're seeing on TV right now. Let's focus on this match between Cedric Alexander and Mansoor. And, this is the Hurt Business, but it's kind of weird because even though these two are a part of the Hurt Business, it just feels like WWE just did not know what to do with these two. And somebody in the creative were like, do we just get rid of these two to save on our budget? And then they were like, no, we can't get rid of them. They're still relevant. And they're like, what do we even do with them? I don't know what to do with them. They're like, let's put them in the Hurt Business. But then they're like, but we can't put them in the Hurt Business. We want Bobby Lashley to do his own thing. Well, let's just put them in the Hurt Business and let them do their own thing while they wear a Hurt Business t-shirt. That's what it looks like. We barely see Bobby Lashley accompanying them to the ring. We barely see these three together anymore. And now since MVP is not around, we barely see any unity between the Hurt Business. We never see them together. So it's weird. But it is what it is. This is the Hurt Business, apparently. Cedric Alexander is getting beat up by Mansoor. Who expects Mansoor to actually lose this match? It's a go-home show to Crown Jewel. Do you expect him to enter his country a loser? I don't think so. I think that he is definitely winning this one. There's no reason for him to lose. Maybe Ali comes out, costs him the match, something like that happens, but I don't expect him to lose at all. Alright, so we have been doing this for about an hour and 30 minutes, so which means we've been doing this about for 19 minutes now. And Mansoor won the match, just like I said. You wouldn't want your hometown hero to enter the country a loser and lose the go-home show to Crown Jewel, right? And that's why Mansoor won the match. I wasn't the biggest fan of Mansoor when I first saw him, especially when he had this long hair. I found him really annoying. But I like this guy now. I like how he moves in the ring. He's decent. I like the smile on his face. I like his personality. Not the biggest fan at first, but I sort of bought into the hype, and I respect him. He's putting in some work. He's dedicated. He's enjoying his time in the WWE. I've got no problem with Mr. He's fine. He can go. And Mustafa Ali in a suit is much better than the Mustafa Ali in a suit that used to light up and the mask that used to light up. This version of Mustafa Ali is something that I can respect and I can get behind. I did not like that one. This one's better.
It's not just you. No, I want to wipe the smile off of everyone's face that shows up in Crown Jewel to support. Only for what you do.
This is funny. When they booked Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali, I was telling my friend KJ, is this like some kind of like a Pakistan versus Saudi Arabia kind of a match? Like, they did not acknowledge it directly. They never brought up the names of the two countries. But we're seeing it right now. We just heard Ali said that he's not only going to wipe the smile of the face of Mansoor, but he's going to wipe the smile of the face of Mustafa, of everybody who shows up to support Mansoor in Saudi Arabia. I think that pretty much shows that Mustafa Ali is entering Saudi Arabia as the heel, and not just a heel for Mansoor, but a heel for the country of Saudi Arabia, for the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So it's interesting. Hey, Film Nation BTS, good to see you, sir. How are you doing today? You did not. You did not. You did miss. We did get two appearances from Charlotte Flair. She opened the show. I know. Wow, I like that. We do come across a lot of Charlotte Flair haters. It's kind of rare to see Charlotte Flair supporters. I'm one of them, and it's good to see that you're one of them too. So Charlotte Flair opened the show tonight. That's why the show has been so good, right? And she basically complained about WWE not being able to give her the farewell that she deserved as she moves from Raw to SmackDown very soon. She's going to be there next week. So she demanded a proper farewell. She demanded the balloons and the confetti and the pyros and the champagne, but she got none of it. So she was mad about that. And we saw Bianca Belair whipping her hair, getting in the ring, getting physical with Charlotte Flair, tossing that outside of the ring. We saw that. Then we saw later on the show, we saw Charlotte Flair showing up at the office of Sonya Deville and the guy next to Sonya Deville and telling them that, hey, Bianca Belair doesn't deserve a shot. She doesn't deserve a shot at the title. Of course, Sonya Deville and the guy did not even listen, did not care what the Queen had to say, total disrespect. But Charlotte said that, you know what, watch me take your Raw Women's title to SmackDown and still be the Raw Women's Champion. Now, that's something that I would love to see. I would love for her to really hijack the Raw Women's Championship as she goes to SmackDown and keep it with her and not allow any of the Raw stars to get the title. That would be something fantastic. I'd like to see that happening. Saudi Arabia is in the global spotlight all over England as they brought a Premier League footage team, and also Crown Jewel is coming up too. Wow. Okay. Saudi Arabia is really, the marketing team that they have for the tourism industry is strong. They know where to put in money. They know how to really get this name of Saudi Arabia, you know, get young people talking about the country, because when you get young people talking about their country, you get young people want to visit the country and increase the tourism ultimately. So Saudi Arabia is doing something right, and just like I said, KJ agrees with Film Nation, by the way. Good. So just like I said earlier in the show, that Saudi Arabia, with the women and everything that we're seeing, Saudi Arabia going from not wanting women in the promos during the show to having women wrestle during the show. It's all about, just sharing this message that we're not a backwards country anymore. We're a progressive country. We allow equality of both men and women. And that's the message that they're putting across through the WWE by allowing women to compete. It's something that I can get behind. No matter the reasons behind it, it's very important for women to wrestle in Saudi Arabia and in countries that they're not allowed to wrestle in, because just like I spoke to one of the wrestlers some time ago, they said that it's very important for women to wrestle in the Middle East and in countries where they're still banned from wrestling, such as Pakistan, because it helps elevate the standards of women and helps the equality of men and women, not just inside the ring, but also outside the ring and in real life and in the society in these countries. So, very important. The WWE is doing a big thing by bringing upon this change in Saudi Arabia. Great stuff. The Saudi family that bought the football team is worth £320 billion. Saudi Arabia has a lot of money, a lot of money. So, not surprised. You know, who else could bring back Shawn Michaels from retirement, right? I mean, when Shawn Michaels retired, people cried real tears. Grown men cried because they knew that if he's saying he's retired, he is done for. And we never saw Shawn Michaels even tease a return to the ring all these years. Saudi Arabia comes up, they want Shawn Michaels back, and Shawn Michaels is back. Kane comes back. Undertaker comes back, Goldberg comes back, all these names come back, and they bow down to Saudi Arabia and the money that they offer. WWE can go on to complain about how Saudi Arabia delays the payment or how they don't let the flight to take off and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they're paying them big money. And okay, so I think we're seeing a promo for Paralympics. I don't know what the promo is for. I'm gonna increase the volume to hear them out. So we saw Maurice, we saw Bianca Belair, we saw The Miz. Now we're looking at Drew McIntyre. Is this Master Chef or Top Chef? Okay. Okay. So it's a Peacock show, Top Chef, family style. It's a more family oriented show, and I believe Bianca Belair, The Miz, Drew McIntyre, and Maurice are going to be making appearances on the show in the near future. And the show will be streaming on Peacock, the same platform where the WWE Network is located. So, we do get to see some crossovers, of course. This is an interview that WWE had been hyping all night long. They hyped it in the preview for the show as well. And of course, it's a pre-recorded interview. These two are not even in the ring. Oh gosh. All right. Okay. I'm done with it. It's a pre-recorded interview again. All right. Fine. We're seeing Goldberg and Bobby Lashley sitting uncomfortably wherever they're sitting in front of the camera. Are they sitting next to each other? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they're sitting next to each other. But they're talking to each other via Skype, apparently, or Zoom, or whatever they use. But, yeah. Okay. Fine. I guess we have to pay attention. We're obligated to pay attention since we're fans. Okay. This Goldberg-Lashley feud is dead for me. Yeah, I know. Around SummerSlam, I was not very excited for this match at all. But then, WWE reached out and they wanted me to interview Bobby Lashley for his match against Goldberg. I had not caught up on their feud at all because anything that Goldberg is involved with, I don't really tune in, honestly. I gotta admit that. So I actually looked up all of their past segments and whatnot, and what they had said in interviews and whatnot. And when I was speaking with Bobby Lashley, again, I said this early on in the show. Bobby Lashley, when I asked him about Goldberg, Bobby Lashley being a heel, he broke his character during the interview. He forgot for 2 minutes that he was a heel. And he went on praising Goldberg, and he went on talking about how Lashley, when he was a kid, when he was growing up, he was such a big fan of Goldberg, and what an honor it was for him to share the ring with Goldberg. But then 2 minutes into the interview, as he's praising Goldberg, he realizes that, wait a second, or maybe somebody tells him, somebody nudges him that, what are you doing, man? You're a heel. And 2 minutes in the interview, he just switches gears and he starts talking about how much he hates Goldberg and how he's going to end his career and make his kid cry and whatnot. So it was funny. But that interview, if it showed me something, it showed me that Bobby Lashley respects Goldberg a lot, and he's just honored to be sharing the ring with him. So as much as I hate to see this match, and I am not excited about this match at all. This could just be on the kickoff show, and I couldn't care less. I'm still happy for Lashley because Lashley likes Goldberg apparently, and he's happy to work with him. So, congratulations to Bobby Lashley. If this interview wasn't cringy, if this interview wasn't cringy enough, Bobby Lashley is pulling off with Donald Trump by removing his mic and his headset and just walking off. All right, so this was an interview that WWE had been hyping all night long, and not just all night, all day long. From their official preview that they released early on. It's funny. It's really funny. So this interview did not even last a minute, or maybe a minute, a few seconds, and that's it. That's it. It's over. Okay. Their commercial breaks are longer than that interview was, by the way. And now we're getting a recap from last week where we saw Omos destroy Matt Riddle. And then AJ Styles and Omos, they attack Matt Riddle, and his best friend Randy Orton comes out and whatnot. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, I find them super cringe. I've said this before. I've said that Omos lacks personality. They need to do something with Omos' character. But if I could compare AJ Styles and Omos' team with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, and I had to choose one, I would choose AJ Styles and Omos any time of the day. Because Matt Riddle and Randy Orton has been a cringe team for me. I'm not entertained by these teams. I just cringe out. So, yeah, there it is. No, I don't think Bobby Lashley respects Goldberg because if he does, he won't hurt his kid. Like, who does that to a kid? Fair point. Fair point. Let's keep kayfabe alive right now. Let's keep it alive. Yeah, you're right. He did hurt his kid. So, serious question to you. Do you expect Bobby Lashley's kid to show up at Crown Jewel and maybe get this revenge on Bobby Lashley? Get some kind of a revenge for, hurting himself and hurting his father early on? Is that going to happen? Do you expect his kid to show up? Let us know. The match should be good, and especially with the drama involved with his family, it should be especially special. So let's see how that turns out. But right now we're seeing a backstage segment with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, the cringe team. They call them the RK Bro. I'm gonna call it the RK Cringe. That's it. That's it. Oh no. And just like I was saying, last week I mentioned this, and I mentioned this every time I watch a Matt Riddle match and a segment. I'm gonna pull. I did this with Raw Truth early on. I don't know why I'm pulling up everybody's age tonight, but I'm gonna pull up Matt Riddle's age, and Matt Riddle is I don't know if you can see it. He's 35 years old. Matt Riddle is 35 years old. He acts like a teenager. He acts like he's 14, 15, 16. And I feel like his gimmick, his character is really timed. It's really limited in terms of his time and his own age. Because when he's 40 and he starts to look older, this gimmick is not going to work. It's just going to be even more cringe. It already is cringe because I already feel like he looks quite old for the gimmick or the character he's pulling off. But when he's 40, 41, 42, it's not going to work. So he will have to change his character ultimately. With The Godfather and the kind of character he had, the pimp and whatnot. I mean, you can be a pimp and you can be the Godfather at any age whatsoever. So the stuff that he did, it worked. The stuff that Boogeyman did, it worked. The stuff that The Undertaker did, it just got better with age. But with Matt Riddle and his age, he's 35 right now. 5 years later, he's going to be 40. Is he still going to be able to pull out the same damn character, the same damn gimmick? I don't think so. I very much disagree, and I feel like his gimmick is kind of timed, is limited in terms of the years. So let's see how it turns out. But for right now, things don't look too good for Matt Riddle, for me at least. All right, perfect. RK Bros match, and we switch to commercial. I know that they're gonna wait for the commercial to get over before their opponents come out and then they wrestle and whatnot. But I would have loved for this match to get over during the commercial, considering how much I love RK Bro and how entertaining I find them to be. I mean, seriously, Randy Orton was perhaps one of the most entertaining stars and the star that I absolutely loved watching, and they take Randy Orton and they pair him up with Matt Riddle, and they make him into RK Bro. Just weird. Not a fan of it at all. Are you a fan of this team? Are you a fan of Randy Orton's new work with Matt Riddle? Are you a fan of Matt Riddle? Let me know what you think. Because for me, not a fan at all. At all. And we're seeing commercial right now. Oh gosh, the commercials on the show are just too long. And okay, all right, somebody who agrees with me here. T says Riddle sucks. Yep, I know, Houston. I'm glad you agree with me. For the others as well, let us know what you feel. Do you feel like Matt Riddle is entertaining? Do you feel entertained when you watch him perform in the ring? Let me know. I want to hear from you. All right, guys, this week is exciting, and that's not just because of Crown Jewel. It's also because Impact Wrestling hosts its premiere, its mega pay per view event, which is Bound for Glory. And, for all the Impact Wrestling fans watching this right now, you know how important Bound for Glory is and what a huge show they have actually prepared for this year's mega event. But you gotta tune in this Saturday, Bound for Glory. It's gotta be a show you wouldn't want to miss. It's supposed to be a good one. Commercials. And that's why from next week, if not next week, from tomorrow, from NXT 2.0, we are testing something new. We are testing wrestling watch alongs along with live streaming of your favorite PlayStation 5 video games. So we're going to be watching wrestling and we're going to be playing your favorite video games of PlayStation 5 with you. So when we have commercials or when we have boring spots on the show and you feel like, hey, this is getting dull, wrestling's getting a bit boring, we switch to PlayStation 5 and we stream your favorite video games for you. So it's something, a new concept. It's something you've never seen in any wrestling or any watch along show ever on YouTube. So it's a new concept. Let's see how it goes, but I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to test it. There's still another hour. Oh my. I know, KJ, I know. Still one more hour to go. We've been doing this for about an hour and 50 minutes. And we still have an hour to go. Actually, more than an hour. So. But you know what? The fact that the Queen started off the show, it started on the right note. So the Queen can make any show better. And tonight we got two appearances from the Queen. The fact that I've already seen Big E and Drew McIntyre do their stuff, I'm happy that that's done with. I don't feel like Big E being the champion he is, I don't feel like he's fit for the main event yet. So I'm glad that that's done. I'm excited for the main event tonight. That's the Queen yet again versus Bianca Belair. If Bianca Belair wins, I'm going to be pissed. But the Queen should win. And oh wow, look at that. Bearcat Lee is clawing his way back to Raw next week. Interesting. And we're seeing Matt Riddle and RK Bro. RK Cringe. Randy Orton is here. I don't call him RK Bro, I call him RK Cringe because they cringe me out. And we're going to be seeing these two compete against AJ Styles and Omos at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. And this match is going to be for the Raw Tag Team Championship. So before we see the season premiere of Raw, a lot could change. Oh my god, I can't watch this match. Alright, so this match is between RK Cringe and the Street Profits. I hate Arcade Crunch, and I despise the Street Profits. So it's gonna be hard for me to watch this match. I'm not gonna really concentrate on it. Let's talk about something else, guys. Let's talk about something more entertaining than this match itself. You know, I think we can do it. I don't think we need this match to be entertained. Right? I can't. I can't. Oh my god, they cringe me out so bad. Ah. Oh, D Star says Bianca might win, keep the Raw belt on Raw. Yeah. It could happen. I mean, that would explain the reason why they're having the match at all tonight. It could be to keep the title on Raw. But wouldn't it hurt Charlotte Flair's momentum as she heads on to SmackDown? Wouldn't it hurt her momentum? Like, I know that she's the queen. She has years of experience under her belt. She has numerous title wins under her belt. She does not really need, to win tonight. She's already the queen. She's already proven herself time and time again. But I would still like for Charlotte to win tonight and to basically hijack the Raw Women's title, take it to SmackDown. Get that real heel heat. The fact that she would be on SmackDown but would not allow any Raw star to bring the title home, that would give her a lot of heat, almost nuclear heat. I'd like to see that happen. So I hope that Bianca loses tonight. I hope so. And then Sasha wins. You know what, D-Star? The more you talk about this situation with the title belts, the more it makes sense. Bianca winning tonight, then Sasha winning later on makes sense. It makes total sense. But I wouldn't want to see that happening. Yeah, Sasha could win. I got no problems with that at all. But for Bianca to win. But there's one more thing that I would like to draw your attention to. If Sasha Banks wins, all right, let's say Sasha Banks is champion, Bianca Belair is champion, Big E is champion, Roman Reigns is champion, Xavier Woods is the king of the ring, all right. If AJ Styles and Omos win the Raw Tag Team Championships, they're gonna be champion. If all these people win the championships at Crown Jewel, we're gonna have at least six main event stars, six big stars holding onto six main event titles at the same time. And I'm talking about six black stars, Xavier Woods, Big E, Bianca Belair, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, Omos. Six black wrestlers holding on to the main event titles at the same time. Beautiful. Amazing. So that would be, I'm just thinking about it, it gives me goosebumps. Never realized that. So that will be such a moment for WWE fans, That will really show that, hey, the tables have, the tides have turned. It's all about the progressive nature of wrestling. It's all about making wrestling open for all, equal opportunities. Beautiful. So if that happens, it will be special, a special time in wrestling, a special time in WWE, for sure. I think Charlotte Flair will lose it soon because they will want her to break her dad's 16-time record. True. I actually wanted to ask Charlotte Flair about it when I interviewed her prior to her match at SummerSlam, but couldn't really because we were short of time. Yeah, but I did want to ask her if she feels that John Cena is gonna break her dad's title, or is it gonna be the Queen herself? It feels like it could be Charlotte Flair. It could be her. Yeah. And especially if Ric Flair shows up on AEW someday, they would want to, beat his record as soon as possible, ASAP. So that could happen for sure. All right, we're back to commercial break, and I can't complain because I wasn't enjoying that match a bit. I'm not a fan of Arcade Cringe, and I despise, as I said earlier, I despise the Street Profits. So I'm enjoying this commercial break right now. Far more entertaining than that match was. I love it. Not really serious. I hate commercials, but still, it just goes on to show how much I hate Arcade Cringe and I hate the Street Profits. All right, so D Star and all those watching this right now, I can't say it enough. You don't want to miss on Impact Wrestling this week. Tune into Impact on Thursday. And if you can't, considering Crown Jewel and whatnot, Thursday is basically going to be taking over Crown Jewel. Make sure to tune into Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory this Saturday, as that match, as that pay per view is going to deliver. It's going to surprise you at the quality of shows that Impact can actually deliver, at the quality of matches that Impact can have or has under its belt. You're going to see Christian Cage in action, defending the Impact Championship. You're going to see a lot more people. You're going to see an incredible X Division Championship match. You're going to be seeing, Diana Perrazzo versus Mickey James, the Hardcore Country. It's going to be a dream match. A match that fans have dreamt about all this while. I mean, you're going to see a lot of great matches. The Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics, are making their debut on Impact Wrestling at Bound for Glory. So if you miss out on Bound for Glory this Saturday, you know you're going to be missing out big time, because Impact Wrestling is where it's at. Impact Wrestling is the place you want to tune in, you want to check out, because it's hot and it's getting hotter by the minute. Commercials never seem to end, right? Never seem to end. And just like I mentioned before, I'm only getting commercials for some reason, but for the match between Becky, Bianca, and Sasha Banks for Crown Jewel. I'm not getting any other commercial. It's a little weird. You're going to follow the Cricket I-20 World Cup, India versus Pakistan on Saturday, I think. D-Star, I know that, the Brits love their cricket. I know that people in India love their cricket. In Pakistan loves their cricket. I'm not big into cricket, honestly. So I can't. No, I don't. I'm not going to follow the match. But I'd love to see if you are, going to be following it. If you could tell me on Saturday, while we do a watch along for Bound for Glory, if you could tell us how that match turned out to be. But I am not a cricket guy. As I spoke with a few wrestlers, actually, I've asked them if they're into any mainstream sport, and the answer I got from them is like the only sport they're into is sports entertainment, and that's wrestling. So not into any of the major sport. For me as well, I mean, I love NHL, I love ice hockey, I love football. That's American football, but not really into cricket or baseball or stuff. No. If I go to baseball matches, if I go to to watch my Yankees team perform or something, I usually go for the hot dogs. Joking, I can't even have hot dogs since I'm vegetarian, but still, I go for the fun. I really don't go for the matches, yeah. But India versus Pakistan, at that match taking place, it's gonna get some nuclear heat. As we talk in wrestling, the terms that we use, it's gonna get a lot of people. It's gonna get a lot of eyes to the product. Every time India and Pakistan wrestle each other, it's big. And not wrestle. I mean, sorry, compete against each other. Wrestling fans, we can't think of nothing but wrestling, right? So who are you rooting for, by the way, D-Star? Are you rooting for India or is it Pakistan? This makes me wonder, actually. Does anybody do watch-alongs for cricket? Would be weird. It's weird because sports that are big in the USA are not big in the rest of the world, and the sports outside of the USA are not big in the USA. That's true. That's very, very true. I think that the only exception is the WWE, right? I mean, even if you look at Super Bowl is such a big deal here in the US, right? I mean, everybody talks about it. The day after Super Bowl, everyone asks you, "Did you see it? Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it?" They don't say, "Did you enjoy Super Bowl?" They say, "Did you enjoy it?" It being Super Bowl, it is such a thing that, hey, you must, if you are in America, you must have tuned in, you must have watched it. That's how big Super Bowl is. But for the rest of the world, people barely care. Like if you ask somebody in India, "Did you watch Super Bowl?" and they're like, "What?" I don't know how it is in Europe, or if they watch Super Bowl in Europe, or if they're interested in it. I know a lot of people now tune in for the halftime show, and they watch it on YouTube. But for the show itself, not a lot of people are interested. But if you talk about WrestleMania, it's a worldwide phenomenon. People around the world are interested in WrestleMania. So that's how WWE really picks up the W. Of being a US thing, it's big around the world, and that's surprising, but it's incredible. But you're right. Football. You just look at football. I mean, when you say football, you have to say football or American football. Because America takes football as football, and they take soccer as the football outside of America. So yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. But America is that way. If you look at how you turn on the light bulbs in America, how you turn on the switches in America, is the other way around. If you see how you turn on the faucet in America, it's the other way around. So everything you see in America, everything that works in America is basically the other way around, right? I mean, look at how you drive the cars on which side of the road. It's the opposite to most of the countries out there. So everything is different in America. So yeah, that's just one thing. Okay, so D-Star, you will be supporting India. You are right. They're actually only wrestling is big everywhere. Yep, yep. Okay, who is that? Is that AJ Styles? Okay, it's Omos actually. Omos interfering, causing a distraction. AJ out there. This never gets old. Okay. And the match ended in a disqualification. I believe RK Cringe have won this one thanks to the disqualification due to interference by AJ Styles as he's hit Randy Orton with a dive. Beautiful. I would love for Omos to destroy Street Profits too. I think it's going to happen. Good stuff. Good stuff. Great Khali 2.0. Yep, Great Khali 2.0 indeed. Great Khali, now that you mention him, I don't know if you're aware, but he's doing some stuff in India with CWE in Punjab. I feel like, I mean, whatever he's done, he's definitely made more stars for the WWE, and a lot more, people that you see in the WWE from India, they actually come from the CWE, most of them. And I feel like it's so weird for wrestling in India, considering that WWE gets its highest viewership from India, much higher than in America itself. India is the biggest market for the WWE in terms of television viewers. They get the most television viewers from the land of India. Indians love wrestling. But if you talk about Indians supporting Indian wrestling, does not happen. There is not a lot of support for local wrestling in India. I spoke to a few Indian independent wrestlers, and they said that, hey, we love what we do, but we're not getting a lot of support from the fans because we often get criticized for our career choice. And obviously, wrestling doesn't really pay very well in India. So wrestling in India is just walking on a glass ceiling right now, because you look at Kali and the work he does with CWE, it's not celebrated in India. It's not a big deal in India. It is just something that is there, but nobody talks about it. Uh, so I hope that one day Indian local wrestling scene changes. I know that WWE is bringing its NXT brand to India. I spoke to a few, again, breaking news here. I don't know if you're aware of this. This is some exclusive news that I got to know from my own interviews. I interviewed a few of Indian independent stars in India, obviously. One from CWE, one from another promotion in Delhi. It's called Wrestle Square. I spoke to both the stars just to confirm if the news was true, and it's true. The WWE have asked the Indian independent stars to be ready for a tryout, which is going to be taking place soon. And WWE is bringing its NXT brand to India early 2022. So it's happening. early 2022, WWE is debuting NXT India, and that could change the landscape of wrestling in India for sure. That could change the way people look at wrestling, and yeah, that's it. But if WWE NXT comes to India, expect wrestling needs to be involved in some way possible. So just putting it out there. Oh wow, KJ with an insult, not as mobile as Kali. Wow, okay, so KJ feels that Omar's in-ring skills are not nearly as good as Kali's. That's a big bold claim, KJ. I must tell you that. And speaking of KJ, here comes KJ's favorite superstar, and that's Shayna Baszler. KJ loves seeing her, kill people in the ring, and I know that KJ is rooting for her to win the crown of Queen of the Ring. So let's see if she's able to do that. But look at her attire tonight. She's wearing colors that I'm not used to seeing her wearing often. She's wearing purple, kind of a girly color, right? You're not used to seeing Shayna Baszler wear such colors, but it shows that she's ready for the Queen of the Ring. She's ready to be the queen, and she's ready to adapt to the colors of the Queen of the Ring. I love it. Love the change. All right, so this I've got to turn up the volume now. Now that the Street Profits match is gone, I can safely turn up my volume. And this is a match that I've actually been looking forward to. It's Doudrop versus Shayna Baszler. Should be a good match. Are we going to commercial again? Are we going to commercial again? We are. We just came back from commercial, guys. I swear. We just came back from commercial, and we're going to commercial yet again. Are you kidding me? Okay, fine. So, one more thing that I just realized. Remember how SmackDown's graphics were different for Super Size SmackDown this past Friday? It looks like the graphics for SmackDown have actually changed for good, and WWE is going to be sticking with the new graphics for SmackDown moving on. So I just saw a commercial. I'm pretty sure you guys did too for SmackDown this Friday after Crown Jewel, and it looks like the graphics are changed for good. Okay. But what a stressful and hectic schedule it's going to be for many of the WWE stars, including Roman Reigns, who are going to be battling this Thursday in Saudi Arabia, and they have to be in America on Friday for SmackDown live. So, wow, what a busy schedule, these two. Hello, Mr. NXT. How are you doing? All right, so you're asking me how did I like Raw? I felt like it was all right, but last week's Raw, you were there, and you probably remember my reaction. I felt so bad doing the watch along because the Raw last week was so bad. I actually wanted to tune out. I wanted to get out of here. I wanted to put an end to the show because the Raw was so bad last week. But tonight, it's been fine. It's been just fine. So, yeah, no real complaints there. So, Mr. NXT, where are you watching from? Are you watching from India, or are you watching from overseas? I'd love to know, because I know that in India it's pretty early, right? It's must be it's early in the hours, like 6:30, 7 a.m. now. Raw starts about 5:30 in India. So I'd like to know what time is it for you? So I mean, are you watching from India, or are you watching from somewhere else? Because we talk about Indian fans and how passionate they are. They can stay up all night to watch wrestling, and that's just how passionate they are. Real wrestling fans, right? I'd like to see how many fans complain about Crown Jewel being early for them this Thursday as well. Because we know that a lot of fans in America, they complain about Crown Jewel's timings because it doesn't work for them. But this is something that Indian fans go through every single day, every single week with their wrestling show, but they do it without any complaints whatsoever. And not just India, Wow, look at that. That just shows. Look at that, guys. I'm gonna highlight this comment. Mr. NXT is watching from India at 7:37 right now. The show has been going on for 2 hours, which means Mr. NXT probably woke up in the early AMs, has been watching since 5:30 in the morning. Can you do that? I know you all watching this right now, or you're gonna be watching this later. You are proud wrestling fans, determined wrestling fans, loyal, passionate guys who've been watching, loving wrestling. But would you wake up at 5 a.m. to watch wrestling? If yes, then yes, you are passionate fans. And that's something that thousands of Indians do for their wrestling shows. And that just goes on to show how passionate the fans are in the country. You know, and for people who are going to be watching Crown Jewel and complaining about the time, you better not do that. Because fans overseas, oh, D Star, being very honest, no way I would watch Raw that early. Okay. All right, I get it. Well, what about a match like a show like WrestleMania? Would you wake up so early to watch WrestleMania that early, D Star? Okay, now Dewdrop is making her entrance. I wouldn't have I wouldn't have had a problem with Dewdrop making the entrance during the commercial break, but I guess we want more TV time. We want to pass the 3 hours somehow, so here it is. But Dewdrop is just adorable. I like her. I like her personality. She's bubbly. She likes to have fun. Wow, D Star with bold claims right there. So you're not gonna wake up for Raw. You're not gonna wake up for WrestleMania that early. Okay, I respect your honesty. I'll tell you that. Yeah. So Dewdrop, just like I was saying, I love her personality. I like how happy, how bubbly she is. She likes to have fun, and I absolutely hate the criticism that she receives on social media, the body shaming that she's put through, like the bullying that she's put through. I hate it. And that's something that I absolutely despise about social media. And that's actually one of the reasons why I started Wrestling News to begin with. And that's because I saw all these wrestling pages that existed before WrestleMania and before Wrestling News, I'm sorry. And they all were toxic pages. The admins were toxic. Yeah, the fans were toxic. It was like a whole bullying campaign with these pages. And I thought, this has to change. And that's the reason why I created Wrestling News to bring that change. And I have brought that change. I can say that proudly. The community is less toxic. It's more open, at least on Instagram. The tides have turned. The whole Instagram wrestling community has changed because of the work that Wrestling News has put in. I can say that very, very proudly, say that loud and clear, that Wrestling News brought that change. And we can see here Zelina Vega waving to the fans, waving to the crowd, being the royalty that she wants to be this Thursday. And I can tell you, she looks like $1 billion. She looks better than Meghan Markle has ever looked as a royalty. Zelina Vega, by the way, looks like a true royalty, better than Meghan Markle has ever looked. So, Meghan Markle, can you beat that? If you can, you are a royalty. If you can't, you're doing it wrong. Take some tips from Zelina Vega. D-Star says, it's not bad here than the UK. 1 a.m. till 3 or 4 can just stay awake. Yeah. You're right. But it gets bad for, the people in Eastern time zone, Central time zone too. It gets pretty bad. And especially if you're in the PST. Oh dear. It doesn't work with, the time in Saudi Arabia or India or, Australia and PST. It's like polar opposites. Look at Zelina. She looks fantastic with that crown. I was thinking, I know that KJ spoke about it too. I was thinking that Shayna Baszler should be winning the crown because of the uniqueness that she would bring to the crown. But looking at Zelina Vega and how fantastic she looks as a royalty, I actually have changed my mind now. And I want Zelina to win because of how good she looks as the queen. She looks fantastic. So I'd like for her to win. And just like I said earlier, I said if Xavier Woods wins the King of the Ring tournament, if Roman Reigns is able to retain, which I'm pretty sure he will, if Big E is able to retain and all that happens, we will have 6 black stars with some prestigious titles in the main roster. I forgot about the Queen's Crown, and if Zelina Vega wins the Queen's Crown, we're gonna have 7 black stars in the WWE's main roster with the prestigious titles next to their names. That's fantastic. That's amazing. It's so progressive. Would love to see that happen. I mean, for years and years, fans have complained how wrestling has been white, how WWE has only had white champions, and now we are about to reach the point where we could be having seven, at least 7 stars in the main roster holding prestigious titles at the same damn time. Amazing. Amazing. The only thing that WWE needs to focus on right now, I don't know if guys are gonna like this what I'm saying now, because I know that this is some kind of like it could lead to some kind of an heated conversation. Some people might like what I'm about to say. Some people might not. Wait, wait. Okay, Doudrop has won the match, which means we're gonna see Zelina Vega versus Doudrop in Saudi Arabia. I'm not even mad. Doudrop brings something unique to the table. She's likable. Zelina Vega is likable. Look at Zelina actually being happy for Doudrop. We're gonna be seeing Zelina Vega versus Doudrop in Saudi Arabia, right? For the Queen's Crown. I love it. I love it. I've got no problems with it. Zelina Vega versus Doudrop should be a nice, refreshing match. Both of the stars, I believe, they respect each other, and should be a good match. Should be a good match. I love Doudrop's personality, I must say that, and I love Zelina Vega with the crown as well. So should be an exciting match. I can't just turn off my device right now and look away because I'm cringing out. Bianca Belair is there, and I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear from her. Oh my god. To make matters worse, Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH are there as well. I'm not joking. I cringe bad when I see these three. I can't. I just tried looking and I can see that Nikki ASH is gifting Bianca Belair a Raw hat. Real cute, isn't it? I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna look the other way until this drama is over. Until then, you guys can feel free to talk to me and tell me your opinion on Zelina or not Zelina, on Bianca and Rhea and Nikki, because I can't tolerate these three. I used to love Rhea, but the stuff that she's doing lately, she's like a cartoon character now. So I can't stand Bianca. I can't. D-Star says, I don't know what's worse, Riddle or Nikki gimmick. I agree. And you know what bothers me so much? Is the fact that Nikki, whatever she's doing, is fine. But they ruined Rhea for Nikki. They paired them together. Rhea was fine on her own. She looked like a badass. When I interviewed her for WrestleMania and I posted the interview, the most of the comments that I got from the fans was like, why didn't you ask her if she's a healer or face? Is she a healer or face? What is she? And we always had this mysterious, thing that, is she a heel? Is she a face? We don't know, but we'd like to know. Somebody did ask her actually that, are you a heel or a face? And she said, hey, like I don't know, a mix of both, I guess. But now when we see her be this cartoon with Nikki ASH, we know she's a face and she's just bad at it. She's cringe. Remember that promo that they did for Connor's Cure with Nikki and Rhea? It felt so forced. Even though it was for a good cause, but it felt so forced. Yeah, not a fan of Rhea being paired up with Nikki at all. And now we're seeing Finn Balor making his entrance. Back in, I don't remember the year actually, when he won the Universal title. Was it 2016 or 2017? I believe it was 2017, but he He did debut on Raw in 2016. Oh wow, Finn Balor is, by the way, wrestling Mace. Mace guys, by the way, the guy from Retribution. Everybody has moved on from Retribution. The guy with the paper plate on his face. Mustafa Ali and all these people. They've moved on from Retribution. Retribution is a thing of the past. But for some reason, Mace is still Mace and still has that weird outfit and that weird face paint. All of that is still going. I don't know why, but Finn Balor versus Mace sounds like a very meaningless match, but we're still getting it anyway. D-Star, who is this guy? Just like I was saying, it's Mace, the guy from Retribution. That's who he is. This guy was also a star. Can't call him a star, right? Can I? He also did some work with the Raw Underground. When that was the thing with Shane McMahon. That was a weird idea. It didn't last long. It just, I don't know who came up with that, why did came up with that, but it went off. So he did wrestle at Raw Underground too. He also served as a commentator for some time for Raw. So Mace is that guy. But he wants to be a wrestler. He doesn't want to be a commentator. And that's why he's doing what he's doing. Not being relevant though, just having a very stupid face paint. Pretty sure he's going to be losing this match. Although he looks big, he looks strong and tall. He can easily be a very dominant guy. They don't want to invest into him. They don't want to invest creative into him or time into him. He's just there. He's just there to put people over, I guess. So yeah, there it is. Mace versus Finn Balor. I don't see the reason why this match is happening except for taking us some TV time, and I don't understand why anyone would have doubts about the outcomes of this match. It has to be Finn Balor who will win. Mace has to lose this one. And KJ White is angry. He says that Shayna was robbed and he quits. oh dear. This reminds me of the time, I believe it was the Royal Rumble. Was it the Royal Rumble? I believe it was the Royal Rumble leading up to WrestleMania 30, when Daniel Bryan lost and people were losing it, and they all said, I quit. And at that time, wrestling news did not exist back then. And I was just, a regular fan on Twitter complaining and whatnot. And I remember everybody tweeting out, cancel WWE Network. And I was one of them. I actually got so emotional. I got home, from the theater. I used to watch my wrestling in my theater back then. Got home from my theater, and I canceled WWE Network. That was the first thing that I did. And I had to enable it. I had to subscribe again a few days later because being a wrestling fan, who can live without the WWE Network, right? Nobody can. So I did subscribe back again, but I did cancel it. So KJ, if you wanna protest, if you wanna revolt, cancel your Peacock subscription if you have it. That will be one way of doing it. But Shayna was robbed. So KJ feels like she was robbed. He feels like Doudrop shouldn't have won. As much as I hate the name Doudrop, I still like her personality. I still feel like if she wins the Queen of the Ring, I know that this is wrestling. This is not like a place for, some sort of a society welfare or something. Not a place where you should be, fighting for human rights or whatnot. But I feel like Doudrop winning the Queen's crown is kind of important. I do feel so. And that's because, as much as she gets bullied on social media, there are a lot of people out there in real life who get bullied for being, plus sized. And I feel like Doudrop and people like Doudrop, when they come up and they succeed in whatever they do, they set an example and they kind of stop this bullying campaign that's been going on for decades. If I could say centuries, I don't know, but I'll definitely say decades and decades, or maybe half a century if I could. So, So I feel like even though Doudrop is not the best of the contenders for the crown, if her victory and if her success can somehow stop the bullying that happens in real life, I'll welcome it. I'm pretty sure sometimes you guys hear me and you're like, what is this guy talking about? I want to disagree with him so much, but I can't disagree with him because he's talking about all this deep philosophy and stuff and whatnot. Yeah, I'm sort of a philosopher myself. I took some classes in human psychology and philosophy, and those classes, they really hit me hard and made me some sort of a philosopher myself. So yeah, and here there is Mace is here to wrestle Finn Balor, and look at him. Wow, he looks like $1 million, doesn't he? He looks great. And this is Mace versus Finn Balor that is underway right now. Finn Balor, um, Mace dominant. Look, you know what? Whenever I see Mace in the ring, the way he moves, I'm actually a fan of it. I like how he moves in the ring. I think he's a gifted wrestler, but still, he's just not treated well. There's no creative behind him. I don't think that WWE themselves are very interested in him. So that's why it's not working out. And just like T says right here, he says Mace looks plain weird. He does, he does. That's because the creative is not behind him. They are not invested into him. You know how also the fans, like how the fans complain about Karrion Kross and his mask. Nobody really complains about Mace, right? I mean, even the people who say that they watch WWE or watch AEW for the wrestling, and they complain about WWE not having enough wrestling, or they complain about the quality of wrestling, and they advocate for wrestling on wrestling shows and not just some entertainment. I feel like there aren't enough people talking about Mace because considering his in-ring skills, he's good. I feel like this guy is a big guy. He can move for his size. He's a great wrestler, but just the fans are not behind him. People are not behind him. The management is not behind him, and that's why it's not working out for him. I feel that Tony Khan is a WWE fan because he signs and pushes all. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he said it before that he did watch the WWE product. I think he said this not too long ago. I think he said this just last week as well, that Raw is bad. So, you know that he's definitely tuning into Raw to be able to review the show, right? He's definitely tuning in. So, yeah, I mean, if you don't tune in, I don't know how can you call a show bad or good. So, definitely, he is a WWE fan for sure. And when CM Punk made his debut, the press conference that followed his debut, I mean, if you could, you know what, actually, I'm going to do it for you right now. Wait, just 1 second, guys. Since this match that we're having is already so interesting, and since we're talking about Tony Khan being a WWE fan, I just want to point out something. All right, just 1 second, guys. It's almost there. Just trying to pull this little thing up. Okay, this is funny. I watched the media scrum that they had following Rampage when CM Punk made his debut, and I just want to show you something. All right, I'd like to show you this little video. So if you see here, you see CM Punk and Tony Khan, and if you look at Tony Khan, he looks so excited. He looks like a fan. He looks nervous. He looks kind of shy. He looks like a little kid who's so happy to be sitting next to his hero. Look at him. Just look at his face. He looks really happy. So this is what I wanted to talk about. He is definitely a WWE fan, and he loves signing these guys, and he loves bringing guys like CM Punk on board. He looks so happy. Look at his smile on his face. He looks like a guy who is just marking out from the inside. Is trying to hide his excitement because of how excited he is. It's fantastic. I like this guy. I can't say that I don't like this guy. I like his and he's living the dream every single wrestling fan out there would like to live. So can't hate him for that. So yeah, just wanted to show you that he's definitely a WWE fan, and it shows. It shows whenever He's sitting with the WWE guy, he's just marking at. And D-Star says, Mace kinda has that Rocky Mafia vibe. Give him a better gimmick, he might succeed. Absolutely. Absolutely agree with you. And what are we watching here? We're watching John Morrison meditating. And this is a gimmick that Jinder Mahal used to have. He used to meditate, do yoga or whatever, Om Shanti, meditation, whatever. He did that stuff. And now we're seeing John Morrison do that. Now that the Miz is not around him, now that Miz is busy with Dancing with the Stars and whatnot, we're seeing Morrison do it. And I don't know how well it's going to turn out. It's a white guy getting into meditation, getting into yoga, that kind of stuff. I get why they're doing it because John Morrison is just so cool. He has that cool personality. Maybe they want to have him, have this personality of like a naive, white dude getting into Indian stuff, getting into yoga, into meditation and all that. I get it. But how are they going to be able to take this gimmick and be able to reproduce it in a wrestling ring when he wrestles? How are they going to be able to do that is something I don't know. And it's something that should be interesting. All right, so we are 2 minutes and 20. Wow. Can I just say that you guys make these watch-alongs so much fun? Like, for real. And, we are still, just getting started on YouTube. We're still new to these watch-alongs. We're still building new fans every single time we go live. But with the limited amount of fans that we have, participating and talking to us in these watch-alongs, it's very entertaining and rewarding. So thank you so much for being here. And it's a 3-hour show, and I'm not even tired. And I'm just realizing that we only have half an hour left for the show because Bianca Belair, of course, who's fighting in this tonight's main event, is making her entrance. And we're definitely going to a commercial break right now. And this is the last match of the night. And I must say, you guys make it seem easy. So thank you so much for the interaction. But please support us and share these streams. Share our channel with your friends. Ask them to subscribe. Ask them to tune in. Because we're putting in countless hours of our time into this channel for you and for wrestling news and for wrestling. For the love of wrestling. So support us. Share this stream, share the channel with your pals, with your buddies, with your friends, and let's make wrestling news one of the most relevant channels on YouTube. All right, commercials. All right, and if you could just compare me last week doing a watch along for Raw. I went on a break like 5-6 times, I believe, or at least 3-4 times, because of how bad the show was. Tonight, I did not go on a single break because I'm entertained. I'm having a good time with the show. It's not bad. We started off with the Queen, Charlotte Flair. We had Big E and Drew McIntyre compete. We had some good segments. We had Jeff Hardy taking a selfie with the Austin Theory. We saw some good stuff. And now we're seeing what is supposed to be a very promising match. It should be good as well. It's been a fine and a decent Raw. I can't complain much. It's been a fine Raw. It just, I'm seeing a commercial right now. I just saw it, and the commercial had, right, D-Star says, yeah, last week I was ready to attack somebody. I was angry. I could not believe what I was watching. I was disappointed. I was angry. I actually went on a vacation, and that was my first live stream ever since coming back from the vacation. And to be coming back to that Raw, it was hard. It was tough. It basically made me lose all my momentum that I had, from the vacation, from taking the week off. And that Raw was traumatizing to say the least. But tonight, it's delivered. Let's hope and let's see if they're able to keep it up with NXT 2.0 tomorrow. And just like I said earlier, D-Star, if you missed it, or people who are watching this, if you missed it, tomorrow NXT 2.0, we're trying something new. Somebody suggested it in the comments some time ago that since you're getting a PS5, why don't you do a watch along with PS5 stream along with you talking wrestling? So we're doing just that tomorrow. We're gonna be talking wrestling, and we're gonna be streaming PS5 live for you. So when we're tired of wrestling, when we're on commercials, when we want to talk about something but don't really know what to talk about, we will jump on PS5 and we will stream the game for you. Do the moves that you want us to do, whatever. And when we're back from commercials, we're gonna watch wrestling as usual. So it's something new that we're trying. Hopefully we'll start from tomorrow. Let's see how it turns out. But hopefully we will get the technical part done and we'll start from tomorrow. Okay, so Crown Jewel is taking place this Thursday. It's gonna go on air at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern. So 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So I just like I said earlier, for PST it's harder because they're so far behind even EST. So for the fans in PST, for the fans in Los Angeles, California region, you're gonna have to wake up early and you have to take the day off from your work and tune into Crown Jewel if you don't want to miss on the action in Saudi Arabia. For the fans in the Eastern time zone, I'm pretty sure you're going to go on the lunch break at 12 p.m. or 1 p.m., even if you're at work or school. So you will be able to catch up on the action, at least for an hour during your lunch break. So you should be fine. But for the Pacific guys, better take the day off. Better take it off. And it's so fitting. I don't know who came up with this idea, but it is so fitting to have the king and the queen of the rings crowned at the Crown Jewel. So fitting. Whoever came up with the idea that, hey, we're doing Crown Jewel, it's called Crown Jewel, let's have king or queen of the ring there, makes sense. I don't know why they did not have Mansoor in the Crown Jewel in the King of the Ring tournament. I think him being crowned as the king in Saudi Arabia would have been very, very fitting and memorable too. So why not? But yeah, wow. D-Star says it's on at 6 or 5 p.m. here. Perfect. So by the time you're back home from work or school, or you're back home after working you're just you're done working from home and you're free in the evening, you want to chill, you want to relax, put on some wrestling. That's the best time to tune in, and you can go to bed in time as well. That's perfect, beautiful. And it's on a Thursday. Considering how in the Middle East, Dubai included, they don't have Sunday is actually a Monday for them, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, these are like your weekends in the Middle East. So that's the reason why they have shows in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia on Thursdays and not Sundays or Saturday, because those are working days for them. So if you're wondering why Thursday, this is the reason. But I just don't understand, like, why don't you have your weekends Saturday and Sunday? Why don't you have the Sunday off? Like, not having Sunday off is a crime, because whenever you hear Sunday, you think of relaxing or partying or going out on a date, or just having some fun, maybe playing some PlayStation, maybe watching some pay-per-view. But for Sunday to be Monday is just depressing. I can't understand that. I just can't digest the fact that there are kids out there in this world who are afraid of Sundays because they'll have to go to school, as we are afraid of Mondays because we have to go to work, right? So, yeah, it's hard. Yeah. And also, can you imagine the guys in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia and Dubai and all these countries, them having to tune into WWE pay-per-views Sunday in the evening sometime, because they're probably working in the morning. That's when the pay-per-views air. So, wow. Their pay-per-views actually take place when it's a Monday for them. Interesting. All right, so Bianca Belair is impressed by the personality that Charlotte Flair oozes as she steps into the ring, as she raises her title up, as she shows Bianca what a real champion, what a real queen looks like, walks like, talks like, and moves like. I mean, you look at Bianca, standing there in the ring, whipping her hair for no reason, just no cringing out, guys. It can't. Can you compare Bianca to Charlotte? You can't, because Charlotte is on a whole another level. She is the queen. She is fantastic. Look at her. Just look at her smiling. She's happy. She's confident. I really sincerely hope that Charlotte Flair wins tonight, so she can basically hijack the Raw Women's title. Considering she never got her proper farewell from Raw, I hope that she hijacks the Raw brand's title, takes it to SmackDown, and does not allow any of the Raw superstars to take it away from her, take it away from the land of the blue brand, and bring it home. That would be just fantastic storytelling. Let's see if they're able to pull it off, though. Um, Mr. NXT says Crown Jewel will stream at 10:30 p.m. India. That's fantastic too, right? Mr. NXT, like 10:30 p.m. is not bad at all. Like, you can watch it, stay up for until like 12:30 or maybe 1:30 and just go to bed. Not bad at all. And it's on a Thursday, so Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it's fine. Good. It's better than staying up late is better than waking up early, because it's hard to wake up early, right? It's hard to wake up early. Like for me, no matter how many number of alarms I set on my phone or even on the alarm clock, I cannot get myself to wake up super early because it's so hard, so hard. So yeah, staying up late is definitely, at least for me, it's much better than having to wake up early. Yeah. Wow, that was good. Oh wow, that was good. Wow, okay. So Bianca basically showed that, hey,
It's also equally as important for Bianca Belair to say, "Oh, you're Charlotte Flair? I don't care. I'm the EST." Look at that. Hold on to her hair.
this is what I'm talking about. Did you just see Bianca Belair get on that turnbuckle and spank herself? I don't get it. Like, why does she have to be so cringe? I get it. You're winning. You're kind of like showing yourself off. You're showing that you are skilled and athletic. But why do you have to spank yourself like that? Um, I just don't get it. Whipping your hair, spanking yourself, it cringes me out real super bad. So yeah. All right, so we're back to commercial right now, and
Woman to ever hold this title. How many different ways do I have to woman to ever hold this title? How many different ways do I have to show you that I'm the EST before you finally get it? Wait a minute! Sasha Banks is back! Three women that are absolute ass kickers. Becky defends her title against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks in a triple threat at a crown jewel.
and we are back with another commercial. A long stretch commercial, I believe. We still have like 20 minutes left on the clock. Let's see how well and how long it goes. Let's just see that. Yeah, so Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair is still going on. If you guys are wondering, this match is for the Raw Women's Championship. Let's see how it turns out to be. But for right now, for me, I'm still rooting for Charlotte Flair. I still want her to win this match and to go on to SmackDown with the Raw Women's title. Love for that to happen. Also, guys, if you weren't aware already, we are the number one Instagram news page. So you should definitely be following us on Wrestling News on Instagram, as we are the number one wrestling news page, the pioneers of wrestling news on Instagram. And this week we've got something special coming for you, and that something special is a collaboration between Wrestling News and Impact Wrestling. So Impact Wrestling and Wrestling News is bringing to you something very special this week, which will be landing here on our YouTube page very very soon. So stay tuned to our YouTube as we're rolling out a special set of content set for Bound for Glory as it airs this Saturday, and this is going to be a big event. And Wrestling News is collaborating in some capacity with Impact Wrestling to bring to you some exclusive content for Bound for Glory. So make sure to tune in. All right, D-Star says, I can normally guess most match endings accurately, but this one is difficult. Would normally say Charlotte, but because of the belt situation, not sure. I know, D-Star. I understand like where you're coming from, and I understand why you're thinking that Bianca Belair will win tonight. But let's also talk about this for a second, all right? Bianca Belair is in the triple threat match at Crown Jewel, right? And Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha Banks is not a champion right now. But if Bianca Belair wins tonight, she's going to be heading into that match as the Raw Women's Champion. That would kind of render Bianca Belair's inclusion in that match useless, because smart fans like us would know that Sasha Banks is winning this one, just like you mentioned. Sasha Banks is winning because she's the one who needs the title the most. Becky Lynch is going to be at Raw. Bianca already has the Raw Women's title, so it only makes sense for Sasha to win it to keep the title on SmackDown. But if Bianca loses tonight, it would still be like, well, I don't know who's going to win, because, the Raw Women's title is on SmackDown now, so the SmackDown title can also go anywhere. So it would add more quality into that match, and more of a hype and surprise element to the match. Because if Bianca wins and heads into the match as the Raw Women's title, it would mean that the SmackDown Women's title is basically meaningless for Bianca, so she's not winning. It will mean that Becky Lynch is going to Raw, so she's not winning. It will mean that Sasha Banks is winning. It would be very highly predictable. But at the end of the day, WWE is getting paid by Saudi Arabia, and that's what they care about. So they could definitely have such meaningless matches and predictable matches too, without a problem. But for us hardcore fans, for fans who care about what they're watching, it would be a boring match, because we'd know the outcome already. But let's not worry too much about it. Let's just focus on what we're seeing right now, and what I'm seeing right now on my screen is an incredible bout between Charlotte and Bianca. Who's more athletic out of these two? Just like the commentator said some time ago, this match is all about athleticism. Bianca is athletic, Charlotte Flair is athletic. But again, I don't know if I'm being a little biased, considering I interviewed Charlotte and I have a soft spot in my heart for any starter that I've ever interviewed. But I will say that Charlotte Flair, I feel, is more athletic. And that's because I've seen this woman go for years and years, and with the height advantage that she has, she's a bit taller than Bianca as well. She just looks like she moves better. She can do dives better. She can do flips better. I do feel like Charlotte is more athletic. She brings more to the table in terms of the moveset. So I do feel like it's Charlotte. Yeah. But Bianca's not bad either. She's good. But I still feel like it's Charlotte. I mean, she just feels quicker in the ring. I mean, let's not. I'm gonna shut up for a few seconds, and let's just look at the screen. Let's just glare at the screen for a second and watch these two move. All right. Let's see which one moves more swiftly, smoothly, and fluently. Let's just watch. Okay, not the right time to actually concentrate right now because Bianca Belair's down. So we're only watching Charlotte Flair move. But when Bianca Belair's up, let's try and analyze who's more, swift, smooth, and prompt in the ring. So Charlotte is going for the dive here for the. All right, okay, she's able to do it anyhow. All right. Wow, that was almost not a kick out. It felt like Charlotte Flair was holding. Oh, she's bleeding, poor girl. Wow, and she's opened up a little. Without Charlotte Flair, this roster, the women's wrestling would actually not be at the position as it is right now. Charlotte Flair has elevated women's professional wrestling in general, not just in the WWE, but all across the globe, all across different promotions. Charlotte Flair made it look like women can wrestle and they can wrestle better than men and they can be entertaining. They're not about, the sexuality or, the appeal, the sexual appeal. They're about wrestling, and that's what Charlotte Flair has shown. And she's shown that women can wrestle, they can be hardcore in the ring, they can be super violent, super aggressive, but they can look good while doing so. So Charlotte Flair is definitely very gifted. One of the stars that I feel like, wrestling wouldn't be the same without her. So, fantastic. So Charlotte is rolling out of the ring. Of course, she's cut open a little. She's bleeding a little from her chin. And she's just rolling out of the ring every now and then to buy herself some time to recover. If you play WWE 2K, you know that we often do that to try to rebuild the stamina. So that's what she's doing right now. In real life as well, you need a breaker, you need a breather to rebuild your stamina, and that's what she was trying to do, and that's what Bianca Belair does not want her to do. Bianca Belair gets down to the ringside to, yeah, all right. So D-Star feels like this might be a DQ ending. Could be. Could be. Look, Bianca is definitely not gonna want for this to end in DQ. That's for sure. Charlotte Flair is. I don't know. Charlotte Flair, the fact that she's been fighting like this, even after being cut open, the way that she's been fighting and she's been in the match, it doesn't look like she wants to get out of this in the easy way as well. She wants to fight and she wants to win the clean way. It doesn't look like Charlotte Flair is going to make this end in a DQ either. Do you expect somebody from SmackDown, Sasha or, Becky to interfere and make this end in a DQ? That could happen. I could see that happening maybe, but I don't see Bianca or Charlotte themselves making this end in a DQ. I don't think so. Right, the commercials. These never seem to end. I wonder how Triple H is doing right now. Hope he's doing good. Hope he's doing well. But it's been a while since we've heard anything about Triple H. After his surgery, and don't know how he's doing. Don't know when to expect him to see him back. Oh, D-Star, you know, I am so hungry right now. Like the first thing I'm gonna do as soon as the watch along is over is I'm gonna grab myself something to eat. I'm really hungry. I'm actually feeling, the rats jumping around in my stomach right now. So hungry. And you bring up KFC and Burger King. You know that's not right. That's not fair. They're making me even more hungry now. But you can actually grab yourself something to eat since you're not on camera. You can grab yourself some cookies and something nice to eat. But I gotta wait until Raw goes off the air to grab myself a bite. But anyways, when Raw goes off the air, you guys are going nowhere because you have to come back. While you grab your food or whatever, you have to come back as KJ White takes on with his breakdown show, and he's going to be breaking down tonight's Raw, and he's going to be reviewing the show for you, going over it, giving you a recap, telling you all the results from the show, and reviewing it, giving it a rating. So make sure to tune in to Breakdown as KJ White breaks down Raw. Oh wow, these guys are ruthless. Alright, so if it would have been a DQ, they would have put it in the main event. Bianca is winning. I hope not, but look at this. So now you want to get at me again, and you want to say that you're having Subway and butterscotch cake. That is just ruthless, sir. That is ruthless. I am super hungry now. Super. I don't know if you guys are messing with me on purpose, but wow, that's ruthless. I've been watching this show for 3 hours, and I've seen countless, Pizza Hut commercials myself, and I've been wanting a bite myself. And then D-Star comes here and talks about KFC, Burger King, and then sir, right here, you come here and you talk about Subway and butterscotch cake. Not fair. Not fair at all. KJ says, based on WWE, Belair is taking this. But guys, think about it for a second here. Think about it for a second. If Bianca wins, she enters the triple threat at Crown Jewel as Raw Champion. It would make the match meaningless. We would know that from the same logic. Sasha Banks will win, so the match would be meaningless. It would be a mere formality to change hands, for the title to change hands and switch brands. That's it. I mean, switch shoulders to stay on the same brand. That's about it. That is it. So it would be meaningless for me, at least. Yeah, I definitely don't want Bianca Belair winning this one. I don't. And then the Queen, by the way, the Queen, ladies and gentlemen, she should be winning because she's the Queen. That enough said. I can so see the Queen of the Ring having a feud with the Queen Charlotte Flair to determine who the real Queen is. Like you can write this down, you can record this. Come back at me later because this match will happen. There will be a feud for sure. It's an early prediction that the Queen of the Ring. Just gotta grab myself some water, some H2O. We've been doing a lot of talking for 3 hours, so I need some water right now. Okay, let me grab a sip. Alright, so I can definitely see the Queen of the Ring, whoever it'll be, Zelina Vega or Doudrop, having a feud with Charlotte Flair to determine who the real Queen is. I'm pretty sure this is a match that's going to happen. Alright, so the match is still underway. I don't know why, but it just looks like Charlotte Flair is more beaten up this night than Bianca Belair is. Bianca Belair, for some reason, still looks fresh. Still looks like she has some energy. Maybe, I don't know if she's not selling it well, or maybe Charlotte is selling it very well. But Charlotte looks more tired, more beaten up than Bianca Belair does. Bianca Belair looks fresh. So maybe she's just not selling it very well. Yeah, that's why I called Charlotte a veteran, called her the queen. I have a lot of respect for her because not only can she move, but she can sell and she can put people over. Did you see that spear, by the way? That was a beautiful spear. And for Bianca to kick out of that spear, it gets me worried. It really gets me worried. If there are, if I could name my top few women wrestlers in the world right now, if I could name, let's say, top three wrestlers, top three female wrestlers, the best in the world. This one is gonna get me some heat, maybe. But I'm gonna name number one to be Charlotte Flair. Number two, this one's gonna get me some heat, Deanna Purrazzo. And number three, this one's gonna get me some nuclear heat. Everybody's gonna be mad. But I would say Ronda Rousey, even though she's not active. But I liked her for her time in the WWE. But since she's not active right now, I'm not gonna name her as my top three, as she's not active. I'm probably gonna name Britt Baker as the top third. Yeah. So for now, top three is Charlotte, it's Deanna, and it's Britt Baker. One from each brand. But Britt Baker comes third, definitely. But people don't like Ronda Rousey. I liked her during her time in the WWE. And by the way, Ronda Rousey is one of the very early supporters of Wrestling News before we even hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. Ronda Rousey showed her support. She followed us. We have DM'd a couple times. Ronda Rousey is good, and I respect her, and I feel like the respect is mutual. But yeah, I like Ronda. No problem with her. Bianca is going for a high risk maneuver here. Yeah, that's why I call it a high risk. Charlotte Flair shoves her a bit. So I'm not too sure. Is my stream really very delayed, or is Raw overrunning? I know Cage has said that my stream might be a bit delayed because it's already time for Raw to go up the air, but my stream is still going on, so maybe it's a bit delayed. Guys, watching right now, is the match over for you? Do you already know who's won the match? Let me know. Spoil it for me, I don't care. Wow, okay, with a power bomb to Charlotte Flair and goes for the pin. It's overrunning. Okay, good. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Perfect, beautiful. Thank you guys, thank you. That was a big power bomb though. DQ? Is it DQ? Oh no, don't tell me that. Oh gosh, you're right. It's a DQ. You know what? I'm not mad. I'm not mad. As long as the Queen is taking home the gold, as long as she's taking the Raw Women's title to SmackDown, I am just fine with it. I love it. I've got no problems. Charlotte has retained. She is going to. Oh god, D Star predicted DQ. Genius right there, D Star. Genius. That's why I respect you for that's. There's a reason why I respect you and admire your opinion, D Star. You're great. Yep, thank you. It didn't overrun. It was a DQ. Ended well on time. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. By the way, both of you, both of you, I hate you for making me hungry. Now I gotta go, rush to my kitchen, grab a snack because I'm dead hungry. And you guys too, go have your dinner, go have go to bed, have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. But before you go to bed, by the way, tune in to Breakdown with KJ White, as KJ is gonna be breaking down Raw for you. He's going to be breaking down it for you. He's going to be telling you all the results, giving you a recap of the show, and reviewing the show for you. So stay tuned. Tune in to Breakdown. It's going to be a quick one. KJ's tuning in just a few minutes. So I'll see you with KJ. All right, breakfast for you. Okay, bon appetit, sir. As you have breakfast, tune back in as Breakdown goes live in just a couple minutes. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a great rest of the day, guys. And I will see you soon. And see you in a few minutes with KJ. Thanks. Take care.